That transition was really fast, faster than I'm used to. Hi! I've had to go back and like edit a bunch of videos recently, and almost all of them involve me being like, "Are we on? No, hi!" And it's the worst. So, but it's consistent. So hi! It's us. We're here to do some spiring today. To inspire you, if you will. Not promising not to be terrible at all ever. But hi, I'm Jess.
Mark me down for 1 stress, Jason.
Everyone takes 1d3 mind stress.
No. I'm inspiring. You should take inspiration.
I've taken in the stress.
Hi, I'm Jess. This is my channel. Thank you for being here. Today I am your good spooter mom, here to do a mildly spooky protect on you. But with best intentions, I promise. Kosa, the midwife, that is me. Thanks for being here. Y'all are awesome. Heart your faces. Let's go say hi to Megan. Coolest. Look at you. Your beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm going to be playing Imogen, the idol, who's just super pretty and gets to do magic because of it. And I am here to hopefully not touch anything cursed or dangerous.
We'll see.
That's what I was gonna say. I was waiting for the like touches all the shinies.
Imogen just likes to touch the things. It's fine. It hasn't been fine actually twice in a row. 2 for 2 bad things happening, but we'll see.
Next in order is Florentien. Wait, no, hang on. Nicholas isn't here today. We miss you, Nicholas. I hope you're having a fun time where you are.
We miss you, Nicholas. It looks like he's having a fun time where he is.
It does.
It does. And then
That leaves me.
I guess, are you coming back? We've been missing you. Where have you been?
Hi, everyone. You might not recognize me from such games as Spire, because I haven't been here in like forever. But I'm back. And all Jason told me is things happened to me, so I literally have no idea what happened to Torith.
Yep.
But we are back.
Yeah, we definitely trust Jason. Jason is astray.
I'm harmless.
Most people who have to say that aren't harmless. You keep saying a thing, but it doesn't make it true, Jason.
I don't believe you.
I have a concern.
I guess we'll say hi to Jason. Hi, Jason.
Wow, after that glowing intro. Hello.
We love you. We're just teasing. We love you.
I know. Yeah, I'm Jason. I'm the GM of this game, so I will be playing all the NPCs and all the terrible things that happen to the players. No, there won't be any terrible things, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Totally ready for this. Super duper ready.
Bum, 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 bum. Y'all ready for this?
No.
So do you want me to jump into the intro/recap thing?
Well, because I assume I could make something up. So,
No, I have
last
it.
time
I have
on
it.
Spire, Jason gave us a bunch of puppies, and we loved them, and they were totally safe, and we gave them all lots of hugs and kisses, and then we had a rainbow party picnic, and there were flowers, and everyone was
Wait,
happy.
that's not what I heard. I heard that the puppies, when you touched them, stabbed you with poison needles. The picnic
That
baskets,
sounds about right.
Open them.
Touch one thing with poison needles one time, and everyone makes a big fuss. We're just missing here an RP going to brunch.
Poisoned brunch.
All right. Okay. So, you like get back into the right mind frame, so I'm not thinking about poisonous puppies. All right. So, growing off of a stretch of the Vermissian tunnel and seeping its way into the forgotten remnants of Ivory Row is an expansive growth of tumorous flesh, fibrous plant matter, and even undulating spire stone. Now and then, the universities of Ivory Row send a team to study this half-living landscape. Sometimes, a wealthy and decidedly mad sociopath sacrifices victims to be devoured by it as a perverse experiment or dark form of worship. But most just avoid it and try to keep its murmuring whispers out of their minds. Under the hazy streams of pre-dawn light from the wandering windows that shift across the spire above Ivory Row, an artery of this growth opens with a wet, sucking sound. It disgorges a bundled mass, which could have been mistaken for a waste or a corpse, until it moves. It shifts and stretches and stands, and is now visibly a disheveled but living drow. It is Torith of Lost Chapters. They look back at the massive roiling growth and its flesh that shimmers like oil on water. The locals call this the Repugnant Mass, but another name sits heavy on Torith's mind, the Bloom. He knows that the Bloom has taken something from him, a price for passage back to the Spire, their Spire, a cost they can no longer recall. But Torith remembers more in its absent place. They remember seeing their dear Imogene awaken from a poisoned slumber, her fingers still bloodied from the razor hidden in the mask's edge. They remember their ministry friends evading the watchful eyes of Madame Fey-Aranyen's spies. They can see Florentien leading one of the Watchers on a wild chase through Red Row, involving a trio of silver quarter bravados, a drug deal gone horribly wrong in Threadneedle Square, and a wild-eyed medical professional, well, perhaps more of a medical enthusiast, and some questionable surgery. Torith remembers his ministry friends meeting back up at the Cathedral Hatchery and learning of Madame Fey-Aranyen's ties to the torched hatchery in New Heaven. But they also remember more. Bright sunlight through impossible crystal skylights that somehow does not burn their skin. Divergent knowledge distilled from the glass library into tiny golden droplets by their fellow sage and friend Valve. Valve handing them a vial to consume and a pen to record all that they see from the visions that flood their mind. Torith half remembers a masked drow with icy white hair and frigid blue eyes. The name Calixta burns on the tip of their tongue. So many threads of fate wrap around Calixta's body. The details carried to Torith in dreamlike visions. Haggling with a milky-eyed azurite over the price of an old full-length mirror. Attending to Madame Fey-Aranyen in the New Heaven Hatchery as her blood is drawn and catalogued by a flock of serious-looking midwives. Meeting with a staggeringly tall Alfir among glass boxes containing half-masked drow. And then, suddenly, abruptly, Calixta's own timeline ends. Impossibly so. Without death or abandonment, it simply ceases to be what it was. This broken timeline, this divergent path, sticks sharply in Torith's mind like a shard of glass. And then we have Torith standing on the streets of Ivory Row, in the lower dregs of Ivory Row, by this giant mass of like cancerous, tumorous growth. Just standing in the streets, back in their version of Spire.
Well, was that certainly expected or certainly unexpected? We don't know. We must find our friends.
And you do know you saw, though you can't explain how you saw it, but you saw that your friends are back at the Cathedral Hatchery.
Yeah, and I think Torith goes to like straighten out their coats, and I shift. No, we shift. And now I'm sort of a more dapper drow in reds and like blacks, and my hair is short and like in sort of a coif, and I'm the Torith that knows Imogene.
In the other timeline.
So I'm like dapper Torith. And I run off to where I know where they are.
Okay.
And I kind of glance back at the bloom. Just a slight bit of worry on my face. But more worry for my friends.
All right. Cahosa and Imogene, you have stayed overnight at the Cathedral Hatchery. Imogene, you were given some of the antidote for the poison that you had, and you are feeling considerably better. The after effects that you were suffering the day before are now gone.
Excellent.
And it is, well, I should say it's sunrise, it's dawn, but there's no sunlight in this hatchery.
I'm assuming we're in separate rooms.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm getting up, I will try to make myself look presentable. Fix the bedhead. Can't be seen with bedhead. And I am going to try to find Kosa.
Okay. Kosa, you are also waking up. You remember that you sort of bought the group 3 days. That your version of Madame Fey-Aranyen wanted to confront the other one.
Yeah.
But you stalled her for 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, you can find out more.
Yeah, we convinced her to wait a bit. I know that Imogene and I stayed here. Did Florentien stay here as well? Or did Florentien run away?
So Florentien was here the last you knew.
Okay.
But you have not seen Florentien since yesterday evening.
Okay, and all right. I'm wondering if I assume I went back to where I stay. So, I guess I would go to check on Imogene. And does she have a room to herself, or she's in a larger...
She has a room to herself right now.
Okay. So yeah, then I'm definitely going over there, and I'm like, good morning.
So what actually happens though is you leave your room, and she's already left her room, and you sort of run into each other in one of the tunnel hallways between your two rooms.
Hi, how are you? Feeling better?
Yes, much better. Thank you for asking. Have you seen Florentien around?
Not yet. I came to check on you first, and then I figured we could go find him. I'm sure he hasn't gotten too far.
Yeah, you're right.
Is Sister Estella still around here? Or
somewhere, but you're not sure where. I mean, maybe in the infirmary or her little apothecary area.
Yeah. I was just looking for someone who may have seen Florentien.
But as the two of you move down through the tunnels to see if you can find Florentien, you come across two other people instead. You come across Torith and your Magister, Lenora, who are walking together.
Hand in hand.
No, not hand in hand. And Lenora says, "Oh, you two, I was looking for you."
Torith, you're back. Is everything all right?
Are you all right?
Yeah, yes, I'm better now. Everything is fine.
We are pleased that you are okay. We had an unfortunate, unexpected, inconvenient mishap? Fortune? Not sure. We were gone, but we're back.
And both of you do notice that Torith is a lot more dapper than the last time you saw them.
Well, you look nice. It's good to see you and that you're all right. We did, discover a few things without you. Are you already aware of pretty much all of it?
I saw everything.
That's useful.
Yes. We're not quite sure how we know this, but we know everything that you went through, even though we weren't there. The Vermisian and Spire are strange. I suppose I am strange.
But
Are
a
we-
nice strange.
Oh, stranger than anybody else. Have either of you seen Florentien? I ask, like, looking at Torith, but mostly asking Lenora.
Lenora nods. Just, yes, that's actually what I want to speak to all three of you about. Florentien has left.
The hatchery?
Yes. He was concerned that he's drawn too much attention to the cell and put your lives in danger. So he has gone off to lay low. And he may have been right to be concerned. And she has, you notice she's holding in her hand a newspaper, which she sets down on a nearby table, and you can see the headline. It's the Silhouette, which is a sort of a gossip magazine, a high society gossip newspaper. And the headline on it says, "Sunlight through glass seen staggering into a spider's web?" with a question mark. And then it goes on to talk about how singing sensation Imogene Sunlight Through Glass was seen having a rough evening in the arms of a statuesque mystery midwife. And is that midwife a new caretaker or a new girlfriend?
People can be two things.
Well, that certainly is
Was afraid
exposure.
I was afraid something like this would happen.
Lenora says, "We understand that you are well known, and that's a strength that we have use of sometimes. But we're concerned that it's also drawn attention to Cahosa."
Do I really look like that? Is that, like, there's like a photo you said?
Well, it's like a sketch. There's not a photo,
Damn, okay.
but someone has drawn like a sketch of Imogene kind of staggering and you holding her arm from when you were leaving her apartment and she was still poisoned.
Well, I
But,
feel
yeah.
like this was a bit of a bit over the top. And I thought, and like I look at Lenora and I'm like, I thought you said that Florentien had been an issue. This is an article about not Florentien.
Correct. There are reports about Florentine too, though it's more that the people who are looking for you, that the other Madame Fey-Aranyen's agents were following Florentine and had Florentine under close surveillance.
So the summarization of your concerns are that almost the entirety of this cell has light shining on them.
That is a worry. Florentine will take some of the heat off of you by leaving, by laying low down Spire. Fortunately, this newspaper article is business as usual for the gossip rags. Though we can count on Madame Fey-Aranyen's agents having seen this the most it potentially gives away is that she may know that her poison didn't reach its intended target.
I apologize for the trouble. I certainly didn't count on any of this to happen. I'm not a stranger to these types of papers, unfortunately, but usually it's not true. I don't know if there's anything I can do to right this, or if we just need to press on.
I would say press on. No one's going to pay too much attention to this headline other than possibly Madame Fey-Aranyen. Just be careful. You bought yourself some time to investigate this further. But just bear in mind that she's still looking for you.
Right.
Anyway, I'm glad to see you return, Torith.
I'm glad to see myself returned. We were very caught unawares by our sudden disappearance. But there's a word hanging on my tongue. A word that we can't stop thinking about. And I wrote it down.
Is it the name, Calixta?
Calixta, yes.
We heard about her. She was Madame Fey-Aranyen's assistant. She is in fact the one that got her that mirror we were so interested in.
Yes, I witnessed her purchasing that mirror.
Did you now?
Calixta's timeline is interesting. I see most of it, and then it just stops. Not like an end, but like if you take a string and just snip a piece of it.
That sounds like an end.
But not a natural end.
Oh, okay.
Like a timeline begins at birth and death, but it just stops. I'm not sure. Interesting.
There was something very odd about that mirror. We tried to investigate it, and I could see magic, but nothing we did to it seemed to alter it.
I can't say much about the mirror, but I know there's something else. I have to think. I saw many things. It's a jumble still.
Lenora says, I can't stay. I have much to do. But it sounds like you have some things to track down and limited time to do it. I'm sorry that you're down one of your cell.
A replacement will be along shortly.
Lenora actually looks surprised when you say that. Indeed. Carry on. Report back if you hear or learn anything important. And she turns around and leaves the tunnel that you're in.
Well,
So you have 3 days. You have a name of someone who's tied up in some things, but whose timeline ends abruptly. And to just remind Torith what you saw. So
Yes,
you saw
please.
You saw three particular memories of Calixta.
Yeah.
One was her haggling with a milky-eyed Azurite to buy the mirror. Another was her at the New Heaven Hatchery, the one that was burnt down, torched, the one that Zai came from.
Yeah.
And she was Madame Fey-Aranyen was having blood drawn and cataloged by midwives, and Calixta was attending to her. And then you also saw Calixta meeting with Paris last day of harvest, the very tall Alfear who runs the gallery that Imogen had spent her durance in.
So those are our three leads. I imagine. Sorry, what was that?
Do you relay that to us?
I'm about to, through the magic of role playing.
Ooh.
So Torith reaches into their waistcoat pocket, and pulls out a small journal, and then also pulls out a strange ink pen that they've never owned before, and starts flipping through it and starts writing some things down. Sorry, we must write this down before we forget. Calixta, we witnessed 3 memories. One was Calixta haggling to purchase that mirror for her lady. She was purchasing it from an Azurite. Milky-eyed. Do not know who that might be. The second was, and I look at Kosa, the hatchery that burned. Yes?
When you're saying milky-eyed, you're describing Paris, right?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No.
Sorry. I just thought, like, because Torith was in the room the first time we saw Paris when we went to...
And that is one of the memories, but this memory,
Sorry.
She's haggling with an Azurite, which is one of the blue-robed merchant drow. And this one is milky-eyed, like his eyes are white over, like he may be blind.
Okay.
Torith looks at you, Kahosa, and goes, the hatchery that burned. Calixta was there with Lady Fey-Aranyen, harvesting blood from her behest. I don't know if that hatchery might have clues, but the last memory I saw was meeting Paris. Last day of harvest. Those are the only... Those were a price given to me, but by taking something else that I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, you're almost certain you are missing other memories that the bloom took from you.
There are pieces missing from my mind, but they've given us these in return.
Are you all right?
That is a good question, and we don't know the answer to that yet. We went through a lot in the past. I don't even know how long. But we have this information, and we should figure out what to do with it.
Yes. We have 3 places, or 3 leads. It sounds like we're heading back up Spire.
Perhaps we should visit the hatchery first.
the hatchery is it's gone. The one you're talking about? It's the one that
Burned down.
my good many-armed son came from. My precious, my boy!
Who now has a sweater.
My good boy who I knitted a sweater last episode. Zev.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the name and I can't find it, but I just remembered it because he's my son and I know his name.
Yeah, it's Zai.
Zev. Zai. Damn it! I was close. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
yes, that hatchery did burn down,
Yeah.
but you don't know what.
Came
You
up.
haven't been up there,
Yeah,
so you're not sure what's
but
left of it.
It was a high up hatchery. It was on the.
It's on the top of the spire.
It's
basically.
on the top of the spire. Like it was like very high up.
Oh, that's too high.
It's very high up. Is my point. Like it's, he was, our blessed many-armed son came from the highest up hatchery that is no longer, and it's the one that Madame Fey-Aranyen used to work at, and yeah, she told us. She did tell us that she had given blood, but of course it's different to note that this Callista person was, from the sound of it, Calixta, taking it for herself, maybe some blood magic, it sounds like. I don't know. Mirror magic, blood magic. Blood magic is much more familiar to me than mirror magic. There's some mix of things happening here, I feel.
That could certainly be a good place to start if we are going up Spire. I think I need to put on something a little more appropriate.
I think we all might need to change now that...
What you do know, I'll let you know what you do know about New Heaven. So New Heaven is literally the top of Spire. It is outdoors. It's exposed to the sky, essentially.
Ooh, isn't that bad to us?
It is. It
Sounds
is bad
great.
to a lot of drow. So the drow who live in New Spire usually cover up a lot when the sun is out. A lot of them just sleep during the day. And they
Sun's
come out
out,
during
guns
night.
not out.
Yes. But the ones who do have to operate in the day cover up. You know, they wear heavy robes and hoods and stuff. But New Heaven is not like the rest of Spire. It's not really high society. It is a very religious district. It has the hatchery that it was known for. It's also where the Morticians Guild is headed up, which is the drow who basically inter the dead and everything like that, and also perform the undying surgery, which is an occult and mysterious surgery performed on Alfir or drow that basically prevents them from dying. Usually it's Alfir because they're the only ones who can afford it. It's carries quite a price to get that surgery. But there are a few drow who have it. It's also where the Charnelites live, which are the priests, the hyena priests of death. Also, there are some warring druids.
Like
There
the one
are-
we met?
Well, there's no, not exactly. The druids in New Heaven, there are two tribes of them, one who worship birds and one who worship bees, and they war with each other.
No one's told them about the birds and the bees?
Apparently not.
Otherwise,
fact,
it
it's-
wouldn't go along too well.
No one even quite knows why they're at war, but they fight over territory.
So, standard up Spire clothes,
Yeah,
not
that's
appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you don't need super fancy clothes.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're saying that like it's religious and kind of occult and stuff, is there a lot of extra robes and stuff we could take from the hatchery? Is there anything that might match, or like we can kind of try to make sort of match?
Yeah, I would say the hatchery can probably give you like hooded robes or cloaks with hoods on them.
Yeah. I think like Kosa is gonna suggest, well, I know it's not ideal to go during the day, but perhaps if we go during the day, we'll have the excuse of being covered up. And in that way, not have to match in as accurately?
Yes, it'll be quite different from going to Amaranth.
That's for sure.
Yes, can we... it makes me wonder, do they have transformable garb to go between the layers? Like, this is very complicated. Every time we go somewhere, a new outfit.
Torith just sort of glances up for a little bit and thinks he'll do. And then I'm in an outfit.
You're just like in an outfit. Suddenly, like they look away, and when they turn back, you're in a different outfit.
Yeah. You guys blink. Like, yeah, it's always in the periphery.
Well, you two have it easy. Because Kosa can just wear midwife robes and...
Yes, but I feel Torith can just do Torith. You, from what we saw, had an entire
just myself
wardrobe. I only have a few sets of clothing. I'm just me everywhere I go.
I am not any different than myself.
There's a lot of good in just being you everywhere you go.
Yes, that's true. I do like that.
You know what I envy about you, Kahosa?
That I am now Imogene's burly protector.
And there's a little flash in his eyes, or their eyes, over that. But they go, no. That you always know who you are.
Yes, but it's less confusing, I feel. But also you seem to be able to handle quite a variety of things.
Well, we're not sure if handling is the correct term, but we feel like we hold ourselves mostly together fairly well.
I think you managed just fine.
Thank you.
But if we are going to New Heaven, I think that your idea of perhaps going robed may be the way to go. That would also save some time and thought about an outfit that's appropriate. When we do eventually go to Amaranth, that'll be another story, but if there are any spares that I am able to borrow, I think that would work just fine.
You can definitely supply Imogene with robes or hooded cloaks. They have them here at the hatchery.
Yes, we definitely have something that will fit you. Don't even need to add any extra arms on or anything.
Incognito mode. Active.
Hoods up!
So are you heading there after you get outfitted?
I feel like-
Sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like we agreed that the best place to start was check out the burnt down hatchery. See if there's anything still there or not. See if there's any clues or anything.
Okay. As you're leaving the tunnels to the cathedral hatchery, Zai finds you in the hallways.
My
The
precious
tunnels.
boy.
My boy.
My boy!
Hosa, are you leaving?
Yes, my darling. We are actually going to go look at the hatchery you came from to see if we can figure out some things. So, you wouldn't happen to have any idea or suggestion of what we should look at in that area, do you?
I don't know. I haven't been back since the day I had to flee. I'm told it's burned to the ground.
Yes, well, we're gonna go look. I would love it if you would stay safe here, and we will let you know what we find. I was just wondering if perhaps you knew anything of the area. Do we look all right? And she like does a spin around to see if he approves based on what he remembers of Spire.
Yeah, you will fit in perfectly fine.
Thank you, my dear boy.
Just, stay out of the sun.
Oh, that's what we're hoping.
And watch out for the Charnelites and their hyenas. Yeah, the Charnelites are carrion priests, and many of them have pet hyenas, because that is, they worship a hyena god.
That sounds entirely reasonable. No.
So hyenas, not gnolls. Yes.
They are not gnolls, no.
Okay.
Although the religion of Charnel comes from Gnoll lands, and the Gnolls also worship Charnel, among other gods. But yeah, the carrion priests in New Heaven, although they're technically priests, they operate in oftentimes like gangs up there.
Okay.
Charles in charge of your life, and you're dead.
So Zai's telling us just basically to avoid them?
Watch out for them.
Thank you. I appreciate. This is why I knew I needed to come to you for information. Thank you very much. And she she gives him like a good.
Be careful.
Thank you. You stay safe down here.
Yeah, I'll stay here. I'll wait for you to get back.
Perfect. And that sweater looks wonderful on you.
Thank you.
Snug as a many-armed bug in a snug rug.
Adorable spider kid.
I love our spider son. Ah! He's a good boy.
And he runs off down a side tunnel.
Okay, so he has confirmed that we look good. We're good. We're good to go. We just need to watch out for hyena and bird people. This is fine.
Perfectly
It's totally
logical.
fine.
And not get burned up in the sun.
Don't forget the bees.
And the bird people, the bees, the hyenas, the sun. There's only everything that can kill us up there. It's fine.
Just a few things.
It's
Welcome to Spire.
yay.
Pretty much like that wherever we go.
Given the alternative, Imogene's like, yeah, going to New Heaven sounds like the perfect place to start instead of going back to Amaranth.
I was wondering how you'd feel about
Let's go to the dangerous place.
Yeah. She has to make sure she has like her weapons tucked in and like okay. I guess let's go.
And the three of you all have concealable weapons, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have my weapon on me.
But I believe you just had a dagger.
I did have a dagger. It might be in my house still, but I don't need things.
Are you going to bring it, or? Because you can if you want to, but.
Yeah, I'll have it. I'm probably not going to use it, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
Definitely inspire.
So you head up to New Heaven. There actually isn't a lift that runs all the way up to New Heaven. The final pulleys for the lift system are up there, but the lift doesn't run up to the top. So you have to take the lift to Amaranth and then take the stairs to New Heaven. You ascend the stairs to New Heaven, and it's an interesting experience because you can see the light coming down from the stairwell into Amaranth. And you just sort of cover up in your hoods and your robes, making sure none of your skin touches the sunlight. And you ascend the stairs, and something you haven't actually felt in a long time is wind and fresh air. The wind actually whips across the top of New Heaven, in gusts. And you can see around the edges of the top of the spire, there are various flags and pennants put up, most of them devoted to different religions, and they're just sort of whipping in the wind. Among all sorts of unusual things up in New Heaven, just from where you get off on the stairs, in one direction you can see the bone-decorated ossuary of the Morticians, where they do their research on the dead, and perform various mysterious surgeries on cadavers, perfect the undying surgery, and do who knows what else. Yes, the Bone Zone. And opposite of the Morticians Enclave, towards the edge of New Heaven, near the lift, is a forest. Which, I mean, there are things that pass as forests in the Garden District. It's just frozen. No. You were just very still. I thought maybe you were.
I was doing some editing, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was listening to editing.
So there's an actual, so in the Garden District, they have what Drow usually think of as forests, which are actually mostly fungus and trees that don't require any sunlight. But up here, there's an actual forest growing on the top of New Heaven. And it's where the Morticians actually collect wood for coffins for the few Alfear who are actually buried in the earth. Drow are never buried.
Strange custom.
Yeah.
There's also, you can see towers that are set up along the edges of New Heaven, that are bristling with galvanic electricity. And they look like they might perhaps be set up to collect lightning strikes during storms. And you also see towards the south of where you're standing what looks like a war zone, like a demilitarized border. And as you're looking at it, there are just, these barricades set up across this, on both sides of this one wide boulevard. And beyond the barricades, you see on one side large nests and hawks and various other birds circling overhead. And on the other side, you see large hives and swarms of bees flying through the air.
Spire is crazy.
So there's a no man's land, and then bees on one side, and then birds on the other side? Don't they know if they just got together it would be so romantic?
And I'll have to show you a screenshot of this, but on the map, actually you guys have access to the map.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map right now. I
for
just
New
pulled
Heaven,
it up.
there's a line that says cease peck and cease sting.
Oh yeah.
Instead of ceasefire.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh, Grant.
Yeah.
That's so good. So there's no... Does the, No, we had to walk up here, and we came out where we came out where the triangle is?
See the little set of stairs? There's actually a picture of a
I
hyena.
see it. It's in the middle. Okay, I see it.
Yep. That's where you are.
Great. Looks great. Kosa coughs at how, fresh this air is. She's like, it's so weird. This air is too airy.
It's too clean.
This air is too clean. Ugh.
You know that the New Heaven Hatchery is past the Morticians Enclave, close to the Towers of Silence.
Okay. I see. Well, you know... So is that a fence around the Morticians Enclave?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like barricaded, but they do have a fence around it.
Okay.
And there's like graveyards inside the Enclave.
All right.
Oh, there.
I feel like Kosa like leads into the other two and is like, does anyone know if we can go through this center square or we should go around it? Would I know, dear voice in the sky, would I know if it's safe to go through this center square?
I think you would know that you can move through that area. There are graveyards inside that people are free to visit.
Okay, so it's somewhat public.
Yeah, there are areas that you would not be allowed in where the Morticians are, but there's actually like a small like neighborhood that's inside the Morticians.
The Crow's Roost?
No, I don't think it's on the map.
Okay. Cool.
But it's a very strange place. It's actually indoors. It's kind of burrows into the ground in New Heaven and hangs above Amaranth.
And where was the hatchery in relation to?
So the hatchery's up near the Towers of Silence,
Okay.
which are past the Morticians Enclave.
Mm-hmm. Right by those hyenas.
Yeah, well, we're also right by height. Oh, no, we're not. We're up here. I found the map.
Yeah,
This place is so weird. There's a rocket. What?
Yes, there's a rocket.
This is great. All right. I think Kosa just like adjusts all her like covers and hoods and things to make sure she's all like good. It's like, all right, shall we continue? Like, I suppose we should just act like we're supposed to be here and then proceed forward that direction until we find, in theory, where the hatchery used to be.
Probably safe. Yes.
There.
All right, let's do this then. And like, march. Like,
All right, you're crossing through New Heaven, and the streets are fairly empty. There are people here. Actually, the majority of the people you see out on the streets right now are humans.
mm-hmm.
There are a number of strange researchers and engineers among the humans who are dealing with those towers that are used to collect electricity, and also seem to be on their way away from or on their way towards that rocket that is sitting on one corner of New Heaven. It's just a pointed cylinder on a whole scaffolding system, and you can even see from this distance many humans toiling and working on it. There are a few drow that you see. You only know they're a drow by the fact that they're covered up. And you even see a few Alfir up here wearing their masks, but otherwise not covered up like the drow are, because the sunlight does not bother them. As you cross through the Morticians Enclave, which is an eerily silent place, the open ground here in the Morticians Enclave is just basically one large cemetery. There are above ground tombs and underground grave sites throughout, and very few people are moving through this area or currently visiting. You do see a number of gray and black robed morticians in the Morticians Guild. They all seem very serious. They seem like a very serious lot. And they are all, every one of them that you see is on their way to someplace else. Nobody stops to greet you or anything. They just continue whatever their purpose is. As you pass through the other side of the Morticians Enclave, you see the Towers of Silence, which are towers built to place the corpses of the dead on so that they can be eaten by carrion birds. You even see there are some corpses that are currently on a few of the towers, and you see just flocks of vultures and other carrion birds just swooping down and around Towers of Silence.
Oh.
And it's here that you start to see a few of the Charnelites with their hyenas. Many of them on leashes that are being held by them. Some of them unleashed and just walking alongside the carrion priests. They travel in small packs usually, 2 or 3.
Is it easy enough to sort of see them ahead of time and avoid them?
Yeah, they stand out, especially because of the hyenas. And occasionally the hyenas will just make that cackling, high-pitched laughing sound, that bark that they have. And it's easy enough to hear that and sort of avoid it. But you come to where the hatchery was. Basically what stands there now is a burnt-out husk of half of what must have been a cathedral-like building. There, you don't see any people in the area, at least at first, and it certainly doesn't look lived in or inhabited anymore. But it is a fairly large compound, and it is burned. Some areas are more intact than others, but it seems accessible.
And we should probably try to get inside. As quickly as possible.
Yeah. If there's something that clearly seems like a door or an entrance or stairs or whatever can take us to be out of the open, to then investigate it, I think that would be ideal.
Somewhere where people are not.
Especially no hyenas, please. Where are there the least hyenas? That's where I want to go.
All right, so I remember correctly, none of you have the sneak skill, correct?
Oh no, I didn't.
Hell no.
No, I don't think I did.
Did Florentien have it? I thought one of us did.
No, none of you have it.
We none of us were good at sneaking.
No, you're right.
I made Imogene's made to stand out. Oops.
Nope.
And none of you have the religion domain either.
I have
believe.
occult. That's like
Actually, yeah.
That's like religion.
I think occult would actually be the correct domain here. So
I have a cult as well.
I also have a cult. We're not sneaky, but we're a cult AF.
Yep. So one of you, give me a sneak plus occult roll, and the others can help if they want and add a die, but then they also risk suffering any stress.
Do we remember what I had as my obsessive researcher last time?
I don't know, but you can change it. I'll let you set it now.
It was blending in up Spire was your last one.
Oh.
Going to see the madam.
That was the type of sneak, though, wasn't it? Can't do sneak.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what to do mine as this time.
I can let you think about it a little.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
All right, so somebody give me a sneak plus occult roll, and then you guys can decide if you want to join in.
Do it.
All right, so Torith and Imogen, do you want to contribute a die too?
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay, so you get an extra die.
Okay, where's my... I was gonna use my new birthday dice, and then where are my regular my spooter dice? Where are my spooter dice for Spooter Mom? I probably should have had those before. I have so many dice out. I have so many freaking... You know what? I'll just roll these ones and then roll again. An 8, a 4, and a 9.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's a success without stress. So you're good. So you do quietly enter the ruins of the hatchery. And as far as you can tell, you're staying out of sight of anything. You do...
It is a hatchery after all.
It is.
It's. I feel like it's similar enough-ish.
Yeah, I mean, you are familiar with general hatchery layout and everything.
Oh, interesting. They had their breakfast nook over here.
Except it's now a burnt and charred ruin.
Weird new heaveners.
You do get the sense from looking at what is left of the hatchery that it was built out of granite, and that most of the granite building framework is still intact. Some had collapsed in the fire, and it is all scorched, but it was meant, I mean, it would keep the sunlight out, and
yes.
also it was sort of familiar to the midwives, who oftentimes have tunnel hatcheries.
This all is making sense so far. Is there a but or an if, Jason?
So as you're sneaking through, you stay out of sight, but you do catch notice of some people milling in a far corner of the ruins of the hatchery.
I like wordlessly get everyone's attention and then point.
So the three of you see robed, you are assuming drow, but it's impossible to tell from here. They are wearing similar hooded robes to keep the sun off of them. And they are sort of stalking through the ruins in a far wing across from you.
Do they look like they're stealing stuff, or do they look like they're just trying to stay safe? Like
They look like they're searching for something.
Like, based on how do they look like menacing, or do they look like they're trying to like be like stealthy and like nervousy move? Like, how are they moving?
Yep. So you can't make out details from them, but you can tell how they're moving. They're moving carefully and slowly, but they're not. If they're trying to stay hidden, they're not doing as good a job at it as you did.
Okay.
But they are looking around, and every so often they pause and just stop. And you can see their hooded heads just, turn and look at things, but you're not quite sure what they're looking for.
Can we kind of like, I motioned to everyone else and I'm like, do we want to watch them? Like, do we want to like see what they're up to first and see if they find anything?
Yeah, try to like trail them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it would be best if we sort of like stay out of sight and just watch them for a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah, that seems like the smart play.
Let's do it. Let's be sneaky sneaks and watch these.
Okay.
Jason, as my obsessive researcher, I will be taking sort of just the ability to talk my way out of things as a deceive sort of thing.
Okay, so a knack of deceive just for talking your way out of trouble.
Talking my way out of trouble.
Okay. All right, so you were trying to stay out of sight and keep an eye on these people. You do notice now that you've seen them moving through that there are 3 of them. And they definitely seem distracted. And it makes it easier for you to stay out of sight. Whatever they're looking for, they're very focused on it, not on anything else around. But they're not combing through the ruins. As they're moving through, they just seem to be covering ground. They move to a piece of the hatchery that actually still has multiple stories intact, although they're burnt out. And they move up a set of stairs to the second floor. And you see one of them reach out in the covering of the roof above them, of the floor above them, and they're touching the wall. And you can tell from their hand that they are drow. And they just stay that way, touching the wall for a long moment.
Do I recognize anything on them as being like midwifey? Like, do I recognize any of their like garb as being from like a hatchery, or like do they look like they could be someone of my order?
There's nothing identifiable that give you that hint. And you move through the hatchery, and it starts to come back to Kahos just how the layout of this hatchery must have been. You can identify where the living quarters were. You can also identify where the hatchery would have been, where the eggs would have been kept. Where the
and it's
young
all
drow,
burnt out. Like
it is all burnt out.
I feel like she'd be really like have to take a second. That's really upsetting.
Yes, and you also can tell that on the highest floors would have been where the records were kept.
And that's the direction they were going in. They were going in and up, weren't they?
Yes, there is a way that you could go up without going up the same way they did. It's a large enough structure.
Okay, like I sort of like crouch and like stop us where we are, where I imagine we're still a ways off from like where they were, and I communicate that and I say, well, they seem to be going in the same direction we want to go in. We want to go up, and they have gone up, but we could go. There is another way. So do we continue to trail them and go up, or should we try and head them off?
Perhaps try to head them off, lie in wait if we get up there first.
Yes, I think it might be the way to go, just in case they do notice us following them.
Yes, it's much easier to notice us following them if we're going up the way they came. I think if we can get up there and get the element of surprise, we can at least see what they're after.
All right. So then I try and like take us up the other way you said there was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think we're trying to do it like quickly but quietly.
Okay. And they are on the second floor. Are you moving to the second floor or up to the third floor?
It's in theory the archives would be on the topmost floor.
Yeah, the third floor.
Let's proceed up there. Let's go.
Okay. So you move up to the third floor. As you're ascending the stairs, which are cracked from heat from the fire, but still largely intact and made of stone, the higher you ascend, the colder the air feels. And you can't tell if that's just because you're outdoors and because of the wind, although you're not directly in the wind at the moment. But as you reach the third floor, each of you sort of gets a chill and a shiver.
I don't like it.
But you reach the third floor, and as you're moving through the third floor, it's coming back to Kahosa what these rooms must have been. You reach one room that is now just melted and shattered glass, and Kahosa, you realize this is where blood was stored that was collected by the midwives. And attached to this room is what would have been a record library. In it, you can see scorched bookshelves and piles of ash that must have been books, tomes of genealogy, Drow-Elven genealogy, and records of the blood that was kept here.
Who's more upset right now, Torith or Kosa?
I mean, Torith is upset.
Books.
This was good knowledge lost.
Yeah. This is all information about the bloodlines and ancestry and it was really important stuff.
Does anything look intact at all?
In the library or in the the blood storage?
Either? Both?
Okay. So you move through the blood storage area and nothing seems intact here. What may have survived the fire, basically any blood that was stored in the things boiled. Which there are some half melted glass containers which have just a blackish gunk sort of boiled on the inside of them.
As a connoisseur of hiding places, can I just investigate both of these areas for?
You absolutely can give me an investigate plus occult roll.
I'm good at both of those.
I'm gonna say this is a difficulty 1, so subtract 1 die because they would have been intent on keeping things hidden.
So how many dice is that?
So you'd have 1. You have both of those things.
Yes.
So that would be 3, and then you take 1 away, so 2 dice.
Okay, and it's D10s again, right?
Mm-hmm. You have not played in so long.
And I've had systems in between, so now my brain is just a mess of systems. 7 is my highest.
Okay.
Smile at all. It's oh, you didn't pass all the way? What a shame. What a horrible thing.
What?
Jason.
So you got a partial success, yeah.
Okay. You failed a little bit.
So you go through, you don't see a hiding place. You examine the blood storage and you don't see any hidden or secret passageways there. So you move into the library. And you're going through the bookshelves, most of which were made of wood and are highly burned.
Flammable? Yeah.
But you come to one that is made of stone and still stands intact, though most of the books that were within it are just ash. And it leans up against a wall.
I move it around a little bit, quietly.
Okay. At first, it doesn't seem to budge. You try a little bit harder, and it moves away from the wall. And you can see that there's a passage behind the bookshelf.
Kosa.
Do I know of secret places in my, is this normal?
Yes.
I feel like
once he points it out to you, you're not that shocked.
Yeah, it doesn't
because
seem
you know that the Cathedral Hatchery also has its own little hideaways where the midwives
yeah, exactly. I definitely feel like we have those too. Does it still feel cold up here?
It does.
I want to do it. I nod at him and I tap him on the shoulder and I do 1 second. And then I do the thing where I close my eyes and then I open my many, many eyes now on my face.
Oh, yeah.
And I now have lots of eyes with which to sense magic.
Is there a roll related to that?
Yeah, I have to do investigate plus occult.
Okay.
Which I have both of.
All right.
So I roll 3, right?
Yep.
Don't have the same stats.
Yeah, we do. Why did we do this? Why do we all have the same stats?
I don't have investigate. I'm just good at talking to people.
Okay, here we go. No, don't. Oh gosh, that's not good. Please. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Well,
What's the highest?
I just have pretty extra eyes on my face. They're not doing anything.
What
I
did you
got
get?
a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so you take some stress there too.
No! Damn it. This is... I'm just really upset about this whole thing. Also, growing many eyes on your face is stressful.
Yeah, so what happens there is, so you close your eyes, and when you reopen them, you have like the many eyes of Ishkra, the spider goddess.
Best goddess. None of this hyena nonsense.
Yes. And usually when you take on the eyes of Ishkra, you can see magic around you, like the threads of magic. What you catch a brief glimpse of very quickly is this icy blue just fog throughout the room. Mm-hmm. Your whole body shudders as you just feel like you're caught in like an icy embrace. You instinctively close your many eyes again, and the spell drops. Mm-hmm. And then you open your eyes, your two eyes again, and the room is as you saw it before, but you're still just chilled to the bone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think, like, Kosal confidently was like, yeah, Torith, definitely, let's do this thing. Hang on 1 second. And then, like, closes her eyes, opens them, and is immediately like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? Like, covers up and then shakes and is like, just, not great. It's not great. This sucks. Like, there's something here, but I don't know what it is. It's so cold. Are you not both just freezing right now? It's so cold.
Oh, we're all cold, right?
Oh.
You're all cold, but Kahosa is absolutely shivering right now.
Huh.
Are you all right?
No, there's something here, but I can't. I lost it. I lost the blessing, and I don't know what it is, but there's something here, and it's not good. But I can't see, so I guess we just have to go on.
Perhaps we should go down here or check this out.
I think
We should keep an eye out for our guests.
we should look before they find it.
Yes.
Find us.
Is there anything around? Is there more like of this like granite? Is there like hunks of granite in some places like that are broken or that cracked or that anything like that?
There are, yes.
Would I be able to like put it in the crook of the door and kind of somewhat close it behind us so that it's like not fully open, but also it can't possibly close out, like putting a door stopper because I don't want to get trapped.
You absolutely could do that.
But I also don't want it to be like wide open, so it's the first thing someone notices if they walk in the room. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you can take a fist size chunk of granite and just put it as a doorstop.
Yeah.
So the door is not fully closed.
I don't want to take this door being open for granted. Sorry.
I appreciate it.
Don't you ever apologize for Jake.
But I appreciate posts about you.
Y'all both made this joke before me, so I'm just tagging on at the end.
I'm resisting not to make granite jokes, as you mentioned the word granite, so.
Okay.
All right.
So yes, but
you have the door slightly propped open.
Yeah, Kosa has that one good idea, but other than that, she's not fully. She's letting the other two sort of lead and investigate because now she's not feeling good.
So who's gonna go through this passage, or at least open? Because you haven't opened it fully yet. You've pulled the bookcase a little bit aside.
This is not uncommon. We have these back home, so.
I'll go.
Yeah, I thought we were all going to explore it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I was just wondering who was going in first or whatever. I was pretty sure it wasn't Kosa.
I was gonna follow up at the back because I was gonna block the door.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Torith pushes aside the bookcase, which takes a little bit of work because it is granite. But once you move it aside, you see about a passageway. It's about half your height, so you sort of have to crouch down to go into it. And it's dark.
Cool.
And there are cobwebs.
Nice.
because I mean spiders.
Yay.
Hatchery.
Obviously. Can we see it all in the dark?
So no, Drow and Spire don't have any sort of dark vision.
So I'm going to use Dead Drop, and on the wall inside here, I'm just gonna knock, and part of the stone just opens up, and there's 3 lanterns inside.
All right, is there a roll for dead drop, or is that just
No, it's
Okay.
just a thing.
okay?
It's just the...
So yeah, you see Torith, and you've seen him do this before. It's very odd, but he just knows where to check, and he just opens this little nook inside the wall, and there are 3 lanterns there.
Torith, you always seem to have exactly what we need.
I always seem to know where exactly what we need is. A gift from the Vermissian. It's always prepared.
Well, our thanks to the Vermissian.
And you take the lanterns. They're Spire black lanterns. They're basically fueled with the weird stuff that grows down Spire in the industrial areas, which burns, but it produces a thick smoke. But you light your lanterns, and it produces sort of a dim light and a black smoke. And you move. Is Imogene going in first?
I'll go first. Nothing bad ever happens when I take initiative.
I'll be right behind you.
I'm
All right, so
guarding our backs, but also ready to
Imogene-
pounce.
Imogene moves in. The tunnel is, you have to crouch in the tunnel for about 10 feet, and then it opens up into, you're able to stand. And it opens into a room. And Torith is behind you, and shortly thereafter, Kahosa follows. And you all enter this room, and in here there are additional bookshelves and glass globes of blood. The books in here and the glass globes are intact. The fire never reached this room.
Good. This is wonderful. I'll look at Kosa and just be like, yeah?
This may be what they're looking for.
This is
I wouldn't doubt it.
marvelous that not everything was lost here. It was such a horrible loss, but this is...
Do we know what we're looking for, though? Kahosa we would refer judgment to you, I suppose.
Are the blood globes labeled?
They are.
Can I just hold my lantern up and take a cursory glance at the labels and see if anything stands out?
Do you
Sure.
think the ladies is here?
That's my fault. Yeah.
So while you're looking at the labels, Torith, you're moving into the room, and you get maybe 4 steps into the room, and you hear whispers in your mind. You can't make out the words, but it's just a but just loudly echoing in your mind.
It's hollow. It's just the sound of the wind.
The wind in my mind, which is a broken mess to begin with.
And give me a resist plus occult roll.
Oh no!
Resist plus occult. What's
Yeah,
that?
Don't think you have resist.
Oh no, I don't have resist.
Florentien had it.
I have resist.
Oh, you-
no,
I'm
I
just
used
gonna
to.
roll 1d10.
You don't have a
Well,
cold
no, you
here?
have 2 D10
Why do I have 2?
because you get 1 for free, and then.
Oh, that's right. And then you get, okay. Like I said, guys, it's been a while.
Although, actually, no. Take one of those away, so you have 1.
You son of a...
Multi-one.
No! You said I could have it. How dare?
It wouldn't be so bad.
You never get to put that halo on again.
Yeah, how dare you? Such lies.
Eric
so
the Fiend.
So, just oh, actually, take one of those.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, no.
no.
This
Alright.
is your fault.
Oh, God.
Because the other D10 I just rolled had a 7. So you did this.
You did this horrible
Hope you're
thing.
proud of yourself.
This
I am.
definitely. Definitely is.
Yeah, totally.
Torith, the whispers in your mind get extremely loud, so you can no longer hear Cahosa or Imogene. You just hear these whispers. They start to get so loud that you instinctively cover your own ears, although it doesn't do anything to dampen them.
Yeah, so I'm just in the middle of this room going, yep.
The other two of you see that he has put down his lantern and is covering his ears. And then as you're wondering what he's doing, the faint lantern light from his lantern flickers out. And he looks up at you, and he's wearing a hood like the rest of you were. But underneath the hood, his eyes are glowing a white blue.
What is happening to me?
That's the color I saw in my mind for a second, isn't it? Like, did you say like it
Yes,
was? Okay,
it is.
I'm going over to Imogene.
I'll say this is all horrible. I'm just glad it's not happening to me.
And Torith just looks straight at the two of you with these glowing white blue eyes.
Torith?
I'm holding my hand. Do I see them?
You
Or
don't.
can I not
So-
see?
You see, but it's as if you're not seeing from yourself. It's almost like you're detached from yourself.
Do I see myself holding my
You
ears?
see yourself in the third person, like holding your ears.
Well, this isn't good.
And this voice comes from Torith that is not their own. The living are no longer welcome here.
Y'all gotta fight me now.
No.
Oh. Torith, can you hear us?
I am not Torith.
I wasn't talking to you.
Your friend may not reply.
Who are you, and what do you require that we may have our friend back?
The form that is and is not Torith sort of looks around the room. I am Arthemisa. I was a midwife.
I am a midwife, and we are not here to do any harm. We are here to try and find out what has happened and help one of our own. And hopefully all of us. All of Drow. We are here not for any nefarious purpose. I swear.
You wish to know what has happened here?
Yes, please.
All right. Imogene and Cahosa, give
Look!
me a resist plus the cult roll
Look! No!
each.
She's gonna show you.
Yep.
No! Can't you just use your words, Ghost? Just use your words!
I'll show you with a mind video.
Okay. I have a cult, I don't have resist, so that's
I
2,
rolled
right?
an 8.
Okay, that's good. It's a success.
Like
Oh.
what? I don't like that.
No, that's good. That's no stress.
That's I couldn't remember if it was 8 to 10 or 9 or 10.
I'm
What-
stressed and now I'm more stressed.
What did you roll?
Another 4.
Alrighty.
I'm switching out those spider dice for new spider dice.
Luckily, you have many spider dice to choose from.
I know, I have like a huge stack of spider dice. Oh god. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Let's see. All right, so suddenly the room around you erupts with imagery that wasn't there before. You are no longer just looking at the room that you're standing in, but you're seeing scenes of the hatchery as it was on the day of the attack. You see the doors to the hatchery during the day kicked open by Alfir, who are clad in shining, polished, reflective armor. They wield swords, or long knives, or halberds, all of gleaming metal. The midwives and the spider-blessed guards who are here seem to have been taken off guard. They would not have normally been awake during the day, but they're shouting and panicking as the paladins, the Alfir paladins, move through the hatchery. They are arresting people. Midwives and guards are yelling as they're detained, tackled to the ground. They're also searching. They're going room to room looking for things. It is during this that you see one of the spider-blessed guards confronts one of the paladins. And the paladin sings a verse of poetry in the Alfir language. And their sword erupts in flame. They strike down the spider-blessed guard. In the process, a fire catches. A struggle ensues. In the panic of the fire, a lot of the midwives and the guards rise up against the paladins. Some more are cut down. The paladins start to retreat, realizing that they can't hold a burning hatchery. They retreat outside the hatchery and they seal up the doors with the midwives and the guards inside. Only a few survivors fled before the doors were sealed up. Although you don't see it, Kosa, you presume Zai was one of them. There are screams that come from within, and from your vantage point, you see the inside of the burning hatchery. You see the blood jars boiling, exploding. You see the books burning into ash. You see the sobbing midwives as the flame overtakes everything. Particularly in something in your mind, Kosa, just cracks when you see all this. And you suffered some mind fallout, which I'm going to talk to you about later, because it could be interesting. But definitely something just comes a little bit unhinged when you witness this whole scene. Imogene, you find it disturbing, but it's, to you, it's distant. You can tell it's not happening in the here and now.
That makes sense.
And then the scene ends and you're back in the dark room with your lantern lights. That is what happened here.
I'm immediately gonna turn to Kosa.
Yeah, Kosa's a mess. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna like reach out and try to like pull her to me, and, like hopes to like calm her down a bit and look to Torith and look to the creature that both is and is not Torith. That we are sorry that this happened, but we are no friend of the Alfir. We're here to set things right.
What justice do you hope to find in our grave?
We want to take back what is ours, reclaim Spire for the drow, and get rid of those who have taken our home from us. We are but one small group, but there are many that hope the same thing.
And how do you hope to do that here? This is a place of death.
Torith was given a vision. There's somebody who is not who they say they are, and we're searching for proof of that, and we were granted a vision that was here. We're just hoping to find anything related to these people that we are seeking to unseat.
In life, Ishkra showed us everyone as they are. There are no secrets from the midwives.
We don't come with secrets, we just come seeking help, seeking answers.
Can the person that's possessing me hear me at all? Can I hear any of this?
You can hear all of this, yes. You also saw the scene, but you saw it from like a really detached.
Yeah, a really weird, detached, out of body experience. I'm already having that. Like adding another one onto that is just confusing. Even in death, there can be answers. Let us look. Can you hear me?
You may look. And you hear the voice say that, Kosa and Imogene, but you can't hear Torith's side of the conversation.
Thank you. We don't mean any harm to this place.
Why did they come here? Why did the paladins do this?
Can possibly find those answers. If you let me go and let my friends. You can also respond, obviously, because you can't hear me talking.
Yes.
So, Kahosa, you in particular remember when you had talked to the Madame Fey-Aranyen who's in the Cathedral Hatchery, one that you had rescued. She had mentioned that she learned it afterwards, but that the paladins had raided this hatchery because they believed that there were Viglites here, which are the extremist worshippers of the blood moon. Basically drow terrorists. The Madame Fey-Aranyen you were talking to had no reason to believe that was true, and she was involved in this hatchery.
Yeah.
But that was why they had raided it, why the paladins raided it, because they are basically tasked with hunting down the Viglites.
I guess she shakes it off enough for a second. Kosa's like having mess time down on the floor, just like being a sad mess person right now. Yeah. With all the different stresses and things and that horrific scene, and thinking of like, Oh my god, like Zai came from here, and he's one of the only ones probably that escaped from that like horrific end. And yeah, you said Madame Fey-Aranyen told us that. What are the what are they called? The extremists?
The Vigilites, or the Crimson Vigil.
Okay. But we also know that, like, Madame Fey-Aranyen said they had no way of, like, they weren't. So, I guess she, like, shakes it off enough to be like, someone told the paladins that there were Vigilites here. Likely in order to get them to... It seems as if someone did this. Someone told them to come here to search the Vigilites, even though there were none.
We harbored none of the Crimson Vigil.
So now it seems we need to find who told them that. I wonder if it's the same that who we were already looking for.
Who do you seek?
There are goings-on down Spire, throughout Spire. At this point, it seems as we have been now to the very bottom and to the very top. And it has led us all through Spire looking for someone who is making a play against the Drow using Madame Fey-Aranyen.
She spent a great deal of time at this hatchery.
Her and Calixtra.
Do you know?
But you don't hear Torith.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you know anything of? I was basically gonna ask the same thing. Do you know anything of a lady named Calixta?
Torith's form sort of tilts their head. I don't recognize that name.
She was attending to Madame Fey-Aranyen. She would have been involved, perhaps, in her blood donations.
Yes. There was an aide that Madame Fey-Aranyen had who was very interested in Madame Fey-Aranyen's blood donations and the cataloging of her genealogy and blood in our archives.
Just at how?
She wanted, at the time, she wanted to see how and where we would keep the information on Madame Fey-Aranyen's bloodline. We do not usually allow non-midwives that level of access, but Madame Fey-Aranyen is one of our own. And so we allowed it.
Did the madam know of her interest?
I believe so. But I am unsure.
There is currently someone taking the place of Madame Fey-Aranyen, and it seems most likely it was her aide. This is where we are at right now. This is... We know nothing for certain at this point. We are following up on the slightest of clues that we have. Did you ever feel any ill will from her?
Madame Fey-Aranyen's aide was strange, cold, distant, damaged child. But I did not interact with her often.
Can you tell my companions, and I suppose you should know as well, there are others on their way up here?
And Torith's head turns as if they're having a conversation that the rest of you can't hear. And as their head turns, you hear the door that you had stopped. You hear the stone kind of scrape along the ground. The door is pushed open, and we're going to take our break there.
Bugger! Fine, I'll put us on to be right back mode. Jason, how dare you?
Are we like on break now?
No, we're not yet. Okay.
Oh,
Thanks
you
everyone for
started
hanging
you
out. We're
on
going on to
stream.
break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Go get yourself a drink. Go stretch and clear your heads, because Jason has
Clear your heads
filled
of
them
any
with
ghosts.
stress, obviously.
We're gonna spend this break yelling at Jason.
Yes. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. You're awesome. Don't leave. We'll burb.
So,
Back to the future. Woo! We've returned spookily.
perfect.
Okay, good.
Wait.
Can I have my body back?
No. No.
Well, yes, you
I
can.
want my body back, body back, body.
So as
Oh yeah, there were people.
When-
I was
yes,
still
when we-
I was still focused on the whole ghost.
when we went on break,
possessed-
you had just heard the scratching sound of the stone that Ghost had put in the doorway scratches across the floor, and you hear the door opening. And as soon as you hear that sound, Torith's head like sharply looks in the direction of the entryway to this room, and then the white blue lights flicker out of Torith's eyes, and Torith, you are back in your body.
Oh. The weirdness never ends. It's me. I'm back.
Welcome
New experiences. They're here. And I take out my little wooden box.
back. Okay. How long was the tunnel that?
And 10 feet.
Okay.
And you can now hear some shuffling in what you guess was the blood storage room back outside this tunnel.
Should we put out the lanterns? Well, that's not going to help if we need to confront them, I guess.
And you don't think that they could see the lantern light unless they looked into the passageway.
We're in a
Is there like a hood? Is there like a hood on the lantern? Like anything to cover? Like or how they're not? Are they super bright?
They're not super bright.
Okay.
It's not sort of a dim light. Just the way Spire Black burns is not extremely bright.
Okay.
But yeah, you are, as Torith briefly mentioned, you are sort of in a dead end here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw that they were drow, right?
Yes, it did appear from what you could see that they were drow.
I mean, we should be prepared, but maybe we should
start a fight.
let them know we're here.
Well, it seems like they're about to find us.
You two stay on the sides. I'll confront them.
Okay.
And then if anything, just jump them, I guess.
I'm gonna
We
stand
aren't from...
back by the blood that I had been looking at before Torith lost his body.
Torith, are you leaving the tunnel?
No, I'm going to stand like right at the entrance to the tunnel.
Okay, so where the bookshelf sort of is and opens into the passageway.
Yeah.
Okay. You're standing there, and you do hear movement in the room just beyond where the broken blood storage was. And then one of the individuals walks into the library room where you are standing in the passageway. They don't see you at first,
Well, because I'm hiding. I'm like, I didn't open the secret door is not open.
Well, you had moved the bookshelf, and it's a granite
but it's
bookshelf,
like,
so you couldn't really pull it closed behind you very easily.
yeah. I thought we were resting against the rock.
No, that was the farther door, wasn't it?
Wait, there's two doors?
There's more than one way into the secret room?
No, they're not coming into the secret room. They're in the room that has.
Yeah, sorry. So there isn't a door to this passage. There was just the bookshelf that you moved, but there was a door into the ruined blood storage room. So that's when I thought you were propping open.
No, I was propping open the room into the secret room. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
you can't really prop that open though, because it's just a granite bookshelf that you moved, and then it's an opening. So nothing to really prop that.
I misunderstood that too.
I fully misunderstood that then. I thought it was preventing us from getting locked in a trap room, but also stopping people from discovering a fully open trap room type thing. You know, I was doing a twofer.
Yeah, but plus side, you did get warning that when they came into this area.
All right, well, I'm standing in the shadows of the secret tunnel then.
Okay. So they don't see you. One of them enters that ruined library, and they're looking through the ashes of the books, but they don't seem particularly concerned about the remnants of the books themselves. They do look a little weird, though.
Uh-oh.
So the one that is here in the library, and there's only one of them in the library. You catch a glimpse of their face underneath the hood. They can't see you because you're shadowed in the passageway, but their lips are blue, like a pale blue. Not a usual color for a drow or anybody really.
Mm.
It's like that I'm freezing to death blue, but they seem to be alive.
Or drowned to death?
Yeah, that kind of look.
That sounds icky.
Okay.
Kosa's not noticing that. Kosa's busy being unhappy.
I just back up a little bit more in the tunnel into the, shrouded by the dark, but...
So that first one continues to look around in the room, and then they notice the granite bookshelf. And they shout over to whoever's in the other room that you can't see.
Uh-huh.
Say, look, there's something here. And one other enters the library. This one is even weirder yet. They've lowered their hood because they're not in direct sunlight here. And trailing from their eyes, there's a bluish kind of smoke, sort of like what Kahosa saw when you briefly had the eyes of Ishka running. But it's like wisping from their eyes. And they don't seem to be bothered by it at all. And both of them, you notice, are wearing all sorts of things that seem to have been scavenged from these ruins or elsewhere, but they're all they have a number of half-burned objects that are just stitched into their clothing or hanging off of them. And then, other things you might consider like funerary offerings, but they're wearing them.
Okay.
And the two of them start to approach the passageway.
I'm coming back down the tunnel.
Okay, so you see them reach the entrance, and they're like, it's a passage. We need to check it out.
I'm gonna get down to Kahosa and Imogen and just be like, find what we're looking for. They're coming.
Yeah.
During this time and earlier, could I have looked at the blood things and seen if anything stood out to me?
Yes. So there are a number of names written on the labels of the blood jars, for lack of a better term. One thing that you do notice at first is a number of them have noble names from the Drow noble houses. And you come to one of them that says, Madame Fey-Aranyen, House Destara.
Yeah, I want that. Can I put it in my pocket?
It's too large to fit in your pocket.
It's a pitcher of blood.
Yep.
I was thinking they were little
Yeah, they're not even nice little vials. They're like
jars.
Yeah.
Like decanting jars of
Like a
blood.
water thing for a water bubbler.
Do any of us have bags or anything? Do we ever keep bags on us? Is this a thing?
Torith probably has a bag.
I have.
It's usually stuff with books, but
Do we have? Do we have Are there any smaller jars around? Or are they all just big jars?
there are some smaller jars in the room, but they also have blood in them and different labels.
Boo. Just pour it into my pocket. No.
Oh.
No, absolutely not. I'm just her blood is here, but it's too large to take with us.
But you can take it. You just can't slip it in your pocket.
Can I? Oh, here we go. If there are people coming to them, can I peel the label off?
You can. Yeah.
Can I swap it with another jar?
Sure.
Just just in case they are also coming for this purpose.
So you're just gonna grab some random other label.
And I just want,
swap.
I just want to swap the labels so that when we can leave, we can take the jar of blood.
Okay.
Do a little switcheroo.
So you have this jar, and you swap the labels. And you're standing in this room, and now you can hear them starting to come down the tunnel.
Yeah, I stand towards. Well, now I come running down. They're coming, and I turn around and just sort of stand there and wait.
Okay. It's only a 10-foot tunnel, so it doesn't take them long to emerge into the room where you are. One of them is holding a torch they've lit, and it's sort of flickering. They stop when they see you because they weren't expecting anybody to be in this room. And they just halt silently for a moment. Who are you?
Who enters my funeral area? The place where I died, where I burned at the hands of the paladins of the Aether.
Give me a deceive plus occult roll for your theatrical performance.
That's
I
one
love
way
it.
to go about it.
It's so good. I mean, he was just possessed. I feel
He
like
was,
if
yep.
any of us have much convincing power, it's the one that was just possessed by a ghost.
So I have a knack, which gives me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would say that applies. So you would have mastery, so that's an extra die.
So I get.
Do you have deceive?
Two. I don't have deceive. I have occult. So
you'd have three d10.
Okay, so 3. I got a 10.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
A 7 and a 3 and a 10, which
7 plus
7
3.
and a 3 would be 10.
So I'm going to say, because you basically got a critical success, that as you start this act, your eyes actually start to glow again.
Oh!
You don't feel like the full-on possession that you felt before, where you were disassociated from your body, but that ghost is helping you.
Oh, hey, thank you, Ghost.
So your eyes just flare up while you're doing your performance, which surprises Kohosa and Imogene. And the two of them, they back up a few steps, and one of them shakily reaches into his robes, and he pulls out it looks like a finger, like a bone, finger bones that are stitched together.
Is he giving me the finger?
See, he sort of is. He's holding it out in your direction.
Don't like any of that.
Your powers do not work on me. State your business or leave or die.
This is the best thing ever.
They look at each other, and like the one holding the finger bone looks at the other one, and the other one just sort of shrugs. I don't know. It's not working.
Run away. Run away.
Yes. And they turn around and they have to crouch through that tunnel, but they scurry. They even drop the torch, which sort of is half fluttering on the ground. And they run back out through the tunnel.
Run away, little drow. Run away. A vague WoW reference right there.
But yeah, they run out of the tunnel and then you lose sight of them. And then your eyes just, like the flames in them vanish and you're back to Torith.
Torith, are you all right?
Oh, we're fine. We didn't actually expect that to work as well as it did.
Oh. Okay.
Perhaps we should run?
Did you want to look at the books?
Are there books in here too?
There are some books in here, yeah.
I'm just gonna grab 3.
3 random books.
Gonna grab 3 random books. All I have room for. We can look at these later. Do we have what we need? Do we think we have what we need?
We don't even know what we need.
That's true.
There's a jar of her blood.
How do we take that with us? Do I?
You can carry it.
Can
You
we just like
can't. Yeah, you can like tuck it under your arm and carry it.
We just can't conceal it.
Yeah.
Can we? I guess we can't carry
I mean,
it
you
under
could probably
our
even
robes.
cover it. Yeah, you can cover it with your robes.
Yeah. Can we carry it under our robes?
Mhm.
Okay.
Can I just do like one more glance at the blood jars? Like, is there any? No, I don't even know anything about nobility, so I don't give a shit about blood. All right, nope, I'm just gonna take the one jar. Shit about blood. But I will hand the jar to Kahosa.
Is there anything else? Like, is there anything unusual or like out of place or special in the? I feel like the books.
secret room?
Yeah.
There's nothing that seems out of place to you. I mean, now that you've found this room, you recognize it as just one of the special hidden rooms that midwives will technically, will often have in their hatcheries for storing particularly important genealogical records or blood samples.
Oh, can I look around the room and just ask out loud? Is there anything in here that you know that could help us in uncovering anything about what happened?
This time you hear the voice, and it's not through any of you. It's just disembodied in the room. I don't know what you seek.
Anyone that would want something from this hatchery.
Any information about why they would want Madame Fey-Aranyen, or about her imposter of an aide, or about anyone who did harm here?
Why the Aelfir would come to arrest on the pretense, but they were searching for something.
Yes.
You said that someone was not as they seemed, and that
Yes.
led you here.
There are 2 Madame Fey-Aranyens.
The room is eerily silent for a moment. Torith, make me a
Whoopsie!
compel plus occult roll.
Compel plus occult.
Oh, I got both of them.
Oh, I got both of those. So I have 3?
Yes, 3.
I'm relearning how to play. I'm getting better.
Roll high.
You can do it. We believe.
Oh no.
Oh
I am
no.
doing-
Don't say oh no.
No, don't.
Well, I rolled
Don't-
3 2s.
That doesn't even add up to a success.
You have an ability, though,
I
don't
know
you?
I do. I'm going to go. Wait, what is for flavor wise? What am I trying to do?
You have the ability that didn't happen, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, but like,
Oh,
what am I rolling for?
So you are trying to get information out of this ghost about the 2 Madame Fey-Aranyen's, essentially.
Okay, so
You're
yeah,
trying
I'm
to
just,
compel them to cooperate with you and give you information.
and so I'm like, just help us with that information, and like, I notice, I'm like, wait, that's not right, and I just go, I wave my hand, and I'm gonna do that. Didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try and re-roll the dice
Jedi.
because this is the wrong timeline.
These are not the dice you're looking for.
I always picture it like Angelica in the song. Rewind.
Yeah.
Rewind. Oh,
Do better. Come on.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
A 1, a 5, and an 8.
So everybody else in the room only sees your second second action, because when you use that didn't happen, basically you've reset the timeline, sort of.
Yeah.
So somewhere there's another timeline where you failed at this horribly, but not this timeline. And the voice pauses and is quiet for a moment. It says, I do not understand how there could be 2 Madame Fey-Aranyens, but the blood that you hold, that could possibly prove the identity of one of them.
Yes.
That is useful.
I assume that there was blood used in the magic of the copying of her. Either way.
Perhaps. The midwives have no such magic, but others may.
The books on the shelves, do they just look like records and like that kind of stuff? Like
So if you flip through like one of them, and yeah, they are genealogical records. They're almost like a ledger of names and traces back into their family histories. So most of it doesn't mean much to you, and a lot of these books have drow noble houses in them, but it's a lot of names that you don't necessarily recognize, but you do recognize the house names.
That's all they are. They're all just genealogy. There's nothing else here. Just the blood and the genealogy books.
Correct.
Okay.
But Kahosa, you know that those genealogical records are very important to the midwives.
I know. I know they're very, very important.
Torith also knows that the Vermissian sages are somewhat jealous of the midwives, accounting of the family lines.
Yeah, it's one of the only. Sorry.
And then there's Imogen, just like, oh, books and some blood. Let's go.
No, that's why when I first saw in the other room that everything was burned, it was like, this is a huge tragedy. But it's the one kind of book we have that the Vermiss they were like, haha, we have this secret book that you don't.
Yep.
Is it possible that we can go back to the cathedral and tell them this? We can cover the door and go back to the cathedral and tell them that this is here, and then perhaps the midwives or the guards or someone can come and retrieve this.
Hopefully before the people that are already here return.
You seem to have frightened them a fair deal.
There were only 2. There were 3.
You had seen 3 originally. You don't know where the third one is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have, I suppose, what we came for.
Did they drop the bone that they were wiggling at him?
No, they didn't drop that. They just dropped the torch.
I was wondering if I could have it.
Can I have it?
that bone, you don't need it anymore, can I?
Have it? So, perhaps we should head back. We have, I suppose, what we came for. And hopefully we can send people up to retrieve the rest of this before somebody else reaches it.
You hear the voice in the room say, if you send others, have them consecrate this place so that our spirits may rest.
We can do that.
I will do my best to make sure that is done. There is one of your number who is saved, who is now at my hatchery. The boy named Zai. He is with us now.
That pleases me to hear. There was a great loss to all drow the day of this tragedy.
Yes, and we will see if we can make them pay for it.
And the other two of you, when Cahosa says that,
I was trying to be as chill about it as I could.
yeah, and I mean, she says it calmly, but almost like too calmly. Like,
Yeah,
it's something not.
Definitely like, that does not sound like.
Yeah. Like a cold knife, just.
Yep.
Ooh, I got a chill just thinking about it.
You will remember this. There's one thing she's good at, it's reading people.
True.
Well,
We should
okay.
go.
Yeah. If there's nothing else we can take, if we've taken all that we can, we have her blood, and Torith took what books he could. If there's nothing else, like if it's at all possible for me to take anything, I will. If there's not, then I will be, as we said, like communicating back at our hatchery that these folks, that there's still important texts here, and blood, and that they deserve to be, this ground should be consecrated because these people deserve to be sort of freed.
So are you heading back to the cathedral hatchery? Or are you just going to send word somehow?
We're kind of stocked. We're kind of loaded up with stuff right
I
now.
think we should try to get back there.
I don't think we can do much
Like,
more investigating right now.
If it's possible to send word ahead,
Yeah,
send
but
word ahead while we're actively moving.
like if there's any spiders around, I'll give them some whispers. But that's it. I will whisper in their little spider ears like they whisper in my ears.
Yeah, what's the roll for summon sweetlings?
The roll for summon sweetlings is compel plus occult.
If you want to give me a compel plus occult roll, if you succeed, I'll say that you can send message via spiders.
Okay, I'm gonna try oh god, I don't know which dice to do.
You know, I love that the hatcheries have a very nice web of communication.
Keep the lines open.
Oh, now I'm mad. That's tomorrow.
What did you get?
5.
No.
Let's see.
No, spider.
You know, I just wanted to do a little bit of spider whispers. I didn't want to, like, lose my mind again.
I just wanted to do
So, you do find a spider, and you do pass your message to it. The rest of you just see Kosa, like, kneel down.
Or I think I did, and there wasn't a fucking spider there. I'm just talking to myself now, guys.
I mean, maybe. You're not really sure. The other two of you don't even see a spider. You're not... But, I mean, it could be small. but you see Kohosa whisper to like a shadowy corner of the room, and then she just stands up, dusts herself off, and that's all.
Is everything okay?
Everything will be fine.
Good. We shouldn't linger up here.
Yes, we should go.
As you leave, you do spot the 3 people. They are no longer on the grounds of the hatchery, but you spot them sort of lingering. They don't see you, but they're just sort of lingering on the fringes.
I'm gonna push that bookcase back up against that cabinet for now.
Okay.
Yeah, close it as best we can.
But you head back to the hatchery. Nothing happens on your way back there. It's pretty uneventful.
Oh, good.
Though
Thanks.
Kohosa or Imogen and Torith, you definitely like, even standing near Kohosa now, something's just not
Look
right.
at that evil.
Now I have to update my list of people I trust.
To no one.
I was gonna say there's a list.
From one person to no one.
It's the people and things I trust is now no one and nothing. Ugh.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, it's Jason's fault.
Yeah.
It's
all my fault,
it's
blame me.
100% Jason's fault. Also, my spider dice just do not like me today. They've rolled so well for me.
Displeased Ishkra.
How dare you say that? I would never displease my precious spider goddess. I love her.
But yeah, you find your way back into the tunnels of the cathedral monastery. Nobody really stops you this time. You're sort of free to do whatever you intend to do here.
This
What section is the cathedral on again?
The middle.
Ivory-
Yeah, it's sort of below the Ivory Row because it runs underground underneath Ivory Row.
Gotcha.
This is a little beyond my depth, this blood and all of this, so I'm not quite sure what our next moves are in this regard. I don't know, Kosa, you know, what is there somebody we should bring this to? Should we talk to the madam?
Not yet. We should see if there's a way to test the madam's blood with this blood. Do we have like a record keeper who I should give the books to? Do we have is there?
There is a midwife, like a small group of midwives who maintains the library at this hatchery.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Madame Fey, if I recall correctly, a couple sessions ago, she was giving blood.
She was giving blood.
Here.
Can we just test the
So there
two
should be
bloods?
blood here.
Yeah.
And Kohosa, you also know that there are midwives who are particularly trained in that.
Okay. Can I hand... I don't want to hand the books off,
Yeah.
just roughly.
Can
we go to check... Do you want to check the blood first?
I'm feeling quite paranoid about... Is there a way that we can keep some of the blood and then give...
Yeah, can we find a vial? There has to be smaller...
Yes.
Smaller quantities!
There are. There weren't... I mean, there were some smaller, but you couldn't
But I
really...
didn't want to dump out some
Yeah,
of
there
the-
weren't empty ones, but there are empty ones in this hatchery.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make us a little nipper or two.
I was gonna say, can we each have a tiny little vial of the madam's blood to
Yes, you
That's-
can.
Weird.
Seems like a fair
emergency
thing to do.
test at any point? That's not weird, right?
All of
No.
the vials you would need and the instruments for doing that are here at this hatchery.
Okay.
As you're pouring 3, I say, Wait. Pour one more for our new friend who'll be arriving.
Who is this?
You don't have a name yet, Torith.
That is a good question, but I know they're arriving.
All right, one more.
Don't want to put all of our blood eggs in one basket.
See, normally you put the blood on the eggs, but yes. I love it.
Yeah, so you divide it up. You basically can fill 4 small vials, and you still have some in the original, like, jar.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then we do that. I think we each take one. Kosa would hand the extra one to Torith and be like, here, you keep it for whoever's gonna show up next. And then let's go to the blood taker testers and ask them to compare.
Okay. Torith, since you... I'm going to say that No, this is actually a good thing for once. I think Torith qualified for a refresh because your thing is discover hidden knowledge, and I think you did that. So
yay.
Roll me a d6.
I'm going to roll you a d6. I have rolled a 3.
Okay, so you only have mind stress right now, so you're going to heal up 3 mind stress.
It's all coming back to me now. I feel less cracked in my brains.
What's that like?
I don't know, because Dustin's never felt it, but I can't tell you, but I'm sure it feels comforting.
Cool. Okay.
So yes, you have your 4 vials now, and where were you going to head with them?
To do a comparison test.
Okay, so are you going to Madame Fey-Aranyen, or are you just you're going to the person who
Took
in this
her blood.
hatchery would...
Yeah.
Okay.
The last person to take her blood.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so you go there to the senior most of the midwives who was drawing Madame Fey-Aranyen's blood the last time you arrived here. And she sees the 3 of you enter the room. And she says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, you absolutely can. We have this blood. Like, this giant fucking vial that's like half empty now. We need to compare this blood to the blood you recently drew from Madame Fey-Aranyen. This is from her former hatchery. So we just need to compare it to make sure it is the same blood of the same bloodline.
Let me see it, please.
Of course. Here it is.
All right, you handed the...
Everything Kosa said is way too calm.
Oh.
It's like she's wearing a mask right now.
I'm getting a cavity.
Sister Kahosa, are you all right?
Of course. Yes, we did have a stressful mission. I do have some sad news I need to impart. But I won't put that burden on you right now.
Okay, yeah, testing the blood. She takes the jar gingerly from Kahosa, and she briefly looks at the label, and she's like, "Kellis of House Duval? That's not gonna match."
No, don't.
Trust, it's...
Security reasons.
Yes, we swapped labels.
Oh. All right, sure, that makes sense. And she takes it and she goes and she says, "Stay here," and she goes off and returns a few moments later with a small vial of blood, not unlike the ones that you secretly took samples in. And she takes out a number of instruments and vials and like droppers and things, and some special like parchment that they have, and she proceeds to do some tests, which Kohos has seen done before, but you're not really trained in this particular facet. And after it takes maybe 20 minutes to run these tests. She turns to you and said, "My preliminary tests, there are more exhaustive ones, but the preliminary tests indicate that this blood is from the same person."
That is good to know. If you could proceed with the more precise tests just to be safe and then let us know when you know for sure, that would be appreciated. And in the meantime, we have to go to the archives.
Can I ask where you found this blood?
Yeah, so we have to go tell people.
Didn't I already say? Didn't I literally say it was from her old hatchery? I said it.
Did you say that?
I
Okay.
did. I said we were there.
Okay.
You
All right.
do need to tell people about the secret room.
Yeah,
too.
no, I'm not gonna tell people about the secret room. That's why I said we have a tragedy. I'm not gonna tell you right now, but like we gotta go deal out this info. But right now, all you need to know is we got this from her former hatchery, and that's why we just wanted to double check that it was the same blood. So we will leave her with the entire big one because we have our little ones, so she can have as much as she wants from the big jar.
All the blood you can possibly want.
You can keep this is a gift from us to you. Keep this big jar of blood. It's tasty good. And yeah, if you could just continue with the tests and let us know for sure if you find out anything to the contrary. Let us know as soon as possible.
Understood.
Thank you. And then we will proceed to returning the genealogies and requesting a cleansing.
Okay.
This house is clean. Sorry.
I kind of knew that was coming.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna say that you go to Sister Teza,
Okay.
your sort of mentor.
Mentor.
Who does work in the archives here in this hatchery. When you approach her, she pauses for a moment when she regards you and says, "Sister Kahasa, are you well?"
I don't know why everyone is asking me that today. I will admit, it was not pleasant to see what we saw, but we are back with information. Information and what we could take. We went to the New Haven hatchery and unfortunately saw the ruins of it. We were able to save from it a little bit of blood and these books, and like looks to Torith to present the books.
Yeah, Torith has 3 random books.
Torith presents the books with mild reticence, but presents them nonetheless.
Yeah, I think there's a moment where Sister Teza starts to take the books and you don't let go of them, and
yeah, it's just I'm just sort of I'm looking at them and not even looking up at Sister Teza, and I'm just
Boring books are just
excuse us.
Thank you.
This is all we were able to recover, but we actually interacted with a spirit of a former midwife there.
Interacted.
Mm-hmm. And they, unfortunately, were not laid to rest. They are restless, and they've requested if there's any way we can help them be free.
Yes. We will send some there, and I'll also reach out to the Guild of Morticians, who have experience with bringing restless spirits to their final rest. It would be good that they got that after what they suffered.
It is the least we can do for them.
There were also more books of this type there as well. In a room behind a granite bookshelf.
I would suggest sending someone there quickly. There were people milling about.
Were they scavengers, Torith, from what you saw? Because we didn't see... Oh, we saw the two that entered the room. We didn't see the third one with the glowy eyes. So
probably
I didn't...
Probably didn't see the features on them at all.
Because we were hiding.
They looked like scavengers. He won't mention the weird things he saw because he's not sure if he actually saw those or not. Until he's more sure. Until they're more sure.
Vultures. We'll keep an eye on them. Thank you, though. But Kahosa, you seem troubled.
I am as good as one can be, having seen the ruins of a hatchery.
But not just the ruins.
Ups.
What did you see?
We spoke to the spirit, and I communicated to them that Zai was is in our custody now and under our protection. They were happy at least to hear that. I promised them that we would release them as soon as we were able.
Is that all? And you see, like, her eyes sort of narrow at you. You're pretty familiar with this sort of judgmental skepticism from
this
Sister
is
Teza.
always this is just like she's always judging me.
Yes.
But strangely, you're less fazed by it personally than you might have been in the past.
I am as well as I can be in this moment.
Yes, sister, there wasn't anything else that we saw. I think perhaps it's just been a trying day. Perhaps Koza just needs to get some rest.
Yes, would probably be good. We will send people out to New Heaven as soon as we can gather them.
Definitely cleanse and help the spirits out before you try and take anything from them, as they were a bit protective.
As I would expect from the spirits of midwives.
Yes. Still working hard even after their job is done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, Sister Koza.
Turn and leave.
All right. You march right out.
March, 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 march.
Yeah. It's a somewhat more awkward exit for Imogen and Torith, as Kosa just sort of marches out.
I think Imogen's like looks at Sister Taze and just have a good day. If it turns to follow Kosa.
Okay.
Torith doesn't even notice anything awkward that's happening about it. he doesn't even say anything. He just follows Imogen.
Completely normal social interactions. What are you talking about?
Normal for Torith.
It's like, none of this is normal.
What?
So the person who knows how to talk to people, just like, why is this happening?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. So then, when we leave, Did we have any questions we needed to ask of the madam?
I don't think so.
Perhaps best to not even let her know we've returned yet.
Yeah,
so she doesn't get any more antsy.
I think it's best to just continue following up on what Torith was shown. We've clearly one thing that he saw has helped us, so it's probably best to keep going, which means it'll lead us either to a blind azurite or up Spire to the gallery.
I think the azurite should be on next.
I agree with that. It seems as if we want to have as much information as possible by the time we go visit Paris.
Ugh. As you said, Imogene just like shudders a bit, but it's just like, oh no, that's cool.
Also, if you will excuse me for one moment, and I walk over to a door and I throw it open.
There's a random door. You just like...
And I walk in back door to the vault.
Oh, God.
Okay. So Torith opens a door that I'm gonna say it's just to a small like closet type room, because I mean, a lot of this is tunnels. There usually are things that hang over the entranceways to rooms, but there aren't very many doors. But he finds one that is like to a closet area. But when he swings it open, what you see beyond it is not what you were expecting to see. You see sort of the dark, cavernous tunnels of the Vermisian beyond the door instead of a closet.
I'll be right back.
All right, well, take your time, I suppose, if you need.
And I'm just gonna use the vault to research anything I can on what those people might have been that were
The scavengers.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, it just gives you like what you would
It gives
need.
me mastery.
Oh, does it?
It gives me mastery. Oh, it won't confirm mastery. It just gives me what I need to do an
Allows you to
investigation.
perform an investigation check on any subject. Yeah. Okay, so basically you have investigate, right? As a skill.
I already have it. Yeah.
So you'll have 3 dice. Yeah, so roll me 3 dice.
I got a 10.
Sweet.
A 6,
Okay.
a 4, and a 10.
So you enter a part of the vault, which is almost like a museum. But it has all sorts of artifacts from many timelines. Some things in it that you wouldn't even see in the Spire that you usually recognize. In addition, it has a number of books on all sorts of topics, and also a directory of where to find related artifacts for different subjects. You start out by researching information on New Heaven and like gangs of New Heaven. And you find something that looks, you find references to images that look very much like the people you saw. And then you find in the collections similar finger bones and other sort of funerary objects. And they all are linked back to a group that loosely calls themselves the Ghost Eaters.
Okay.
They are of a sort possession junkies. They basically hunt out restless spirits, try to be possessed, and also try to capture or devour the spirits, restless spirits, which they believe confers power or knowledge to them. And oftentimes they are common to New Heaven, especially around the Morticians Guild. But they are attracted to any sites where they might find restless ghosts, and they basically try to feed off of them. And there is some credence to the fact that they have gained abilities or occult powers through consuming the spirits of the restless dead.
Okay, I'm gonna pop back in.
All right. Although it probably took you 45 minutes to do that research, only about 2 minutes have passed from when he stepped out of the room.
I've come through a different room. I just start walking down the hall.
You come in through the main
Or
entrance.
there it comes to the same. Yeah, I just start walking through the hall towards you guys.
All right. You see Torith again.
I know who those people were.
Oh. And?
They call themselves Ghost Eaters. They seek out possession. As in, they seek being possessed. They capture and devour the spirits of the restless undead. Ghost, are you okay?
Those spirits have already been through enough.
That is why I wanted to know what they were.
Very displeased to hear this.
Well, the good thing is that I scared them away, but I think that's what their little finger bones were all about.
Yes, I suppose so.
They knew that there was no power over that spirit.
Yes, hopefully that makes them think twice.
I hope so, but hopefully your people can get help there.
Yes,
Soon.
hopefully very soon.
Do you know where we might find the Azurite, GM? Do they like hang out in a specific place?
So the answer to that is you can find Azurites in any of the commerce districts pretty easily. However, you were told in the past that that Calixta had purchased the mirror in the Skydocks.
Oh, okay. That's useful information. What time of day is it? Like, how long were we in New Heaven?
You were in New Heaven for a few hours, so it is probably late morning. But only in New Heaven does that really matter too much, because the rest is indoors.
Perhaps our next move should be going up to the Skydocks.
I think so.
And perhaps our friend Dash might have any information on this Azurite. If not, I'm sure we can find somebody who has seen them. That detail of their eyes is probably pretty telling. I'm sure there are people who are familiar with them.
Yeah, I feel we would have more luck in finding them than not.
All right, so you're heading to the Skydots?
Yep.
Okay. So you can take the lift up to the Skydocks, and you've been to the Skydocks a number of times now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's familiar territory. You get out, you know the direction. You do know that if you're going to see Dash, that they hang out on the outside of the Spire.
Oh.
Because you've made that trip before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that shapes your decision to go see Dash or not, but that's what you'll have to face if you want to go find them.
I definitely think Imogen wants to, because she's got a bond with him, so I think that might be helpful. That perhaps he knows what's going on. So yeah. Yep. We'll just risk that. Oh, I'm going to take off the big hooded robe before we leave the hatchery.
Oh yeah, there's no need for it. I mean, well, actually, I say that, but you're going to be on the outside of the
Yeah, is it still
Spire.
Daytime? Or has
is.
it been like a little while? Is it like at least evening now?
It's late morning.
No, it's late morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
God damn it.
So
we
yeah,
did
you probably
everything
still
at a
want to
good
take that with you.
time.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna make sure I put a mask on as well.
Okay.
Because I was in the paper.
Yeah, that's true. You probably don't want to be recognized all over the Skydocks
Probably not.
with your new spider caretaker / girlfriend.
Ugh, yeah, I know. That's being a little weird.
Weird. Rude.
This isn't gonna last long.
I was debating like going to see Zai to let him know we were gonna go visit his old pals, but I don't want him to leave here.
You stay.
Yeah, he might be tempted to if you told him that.
Exactly. So, if he doesn't come upon us, I will not go search him out.
Okay. But yeah, you head back to the Skydock and you head back to the corner of the Silver Quarter, where Imogene had once sang when you brought back the then unconscious body of Madame Fey-Aranyen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that familiar wall of sort of tenements and the scaffolding that leads up to the hole that goes to the outside of Spire.
Yeah, let's let her rip. Climb on up.
All right, so you climb up the scaffolding and you go to the outside wall of Spire very carefully and gingerly. There are rails and stuff here, but it is all like mostly wooden walkways sort of affixed to the outside of the Spire, very high up off the ground.
Yeah.
You get out onto the outside, onto the scaffolding, and you're stopped by two younger drow who themselves are wearing hoods. They're wearing like polarized goggles. You can't tell because of the hoods if they're like boys or girls, but you can tell that they're young.
Yes, hello. Is Dash around?
Who's asking?
Imogene and some friends.
Imogene Sunlight Through Glass?
Yes.
Know the name. Wait here.
You.
I'll tell Dash.
Thank you.
And one of the kids stays and keeps an eye on you. The other runs off. Actually runs more than you think is wise on the scaffolding on the outside of the Spire, but they seem to be pretty familiar with it. You also see, Kohosa, you see the same like webbing, thick webbing that you saw before, which you're still not entirely sure where that came from, but
That didn't come from Zai?
well, you're not certain. It's like thick webbing, and you're not sure that Zai could have made that.
Why didn't I ask him? Damn it. I didn't think of it until he was adopted. Now he's my precious son, but I'll have to bring it up next time we hang out.
But all trace of the ruined sky whale that had fallen to pieces into some of that webbing, that's all been removed. You don't see any trace of it. But yeah, the one child stays with you for a moment and says, Imogene, you're a singer, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I thought the name was familiar. You perform in the Silver Quarter.
Yeah, at Mermaid, Siren, Mermaid?
Yeah, at the Mermaid, I think it was.
I think it's yes, at the Mermaid.
Yeah, I can't get in there, but I've heard of you.
Oh, well. Hopefully good things.
Yeah, I've heard you're a really good show.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you saying so.
Didn't expect to see you here on the outside of the Spire.
Well, every so often I am a little unexpected.
Interesting. And as he's sort of you see the gears moving in his head as he's thinking about that, the other child returns, and you see Dash is with them, as well as 2 older Airlarks. And Dash stops and sees you, but you're wearing the mask still.
Oh.
And the hood.
I'll,
Begin.
yeah, I'll like loosen the mask and just like let it fall and pull my hood down.
Imogene.
Good to see you.
Good to see that you're still breathing. I've heard things.
Oh, have you?
Have you seen the papers lately?
Yes, I have.
And he looks over at Kosa and winks.
I'm all covered up. He can't see it's me.
I think he just sort of knows.
Yeah, he probably does. That's fine.
I mean, you were here before with Imogene.
I wink back, but he can't see it.
You have eyes everywhere, it seems.
You know, we're always keeping our ear to the ground.
That's smart. I'm hoping that ear to the ground might be able to help us out a little bit.
What do you need?
Do you know of an azurite with milky white eyes?
Not off the top of my head, but if they operate anywhere around here, I'm certain I could find them.
Yes, we're led to believe that they operate somewhere near the sky docks.
I can send out my Airlarks, track them down.
That would be of immense help.
I'm just checking the whole bonds thing again because we haven't used that much lately.
What do you want? I'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good roll. They'll get 3d10 because it's the NPC rolls, the bond rolls 1d10 plus 1d10 if it's within their area of expertise, and another 1d10 if it's in their neighborhood or home, which it is.
Hell yeah, let's go Dash.
So let's see.
I thought the GM doesn't roll dice.
That's true. I could make you roll it.
No, you can go ahead.
All right. Well, it was a good roll, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I will send out some of my people, track down this person for you.
Thank you. Is there anything you need from me? Is there anything I can help you with?
Not right now, but if you happen to hear of anything interesting coming in on any particular Sky Whale shipment, let me or my crew know.
I will keep my ear to the ground. You know where to find me.
It's always good to have friends in high places.
I'm gonna look down over the edge. Yes, it is. But please let me know if you find anything. We appreciate the help a great deal.
While my people are looking, where are you going to be?
Gonna look back to Torith and Kahosa. Where are we going to be?
I mean, you were in the Silver Quarter.
Yep.
Which is where you live.
Yep.
Isn't it great when people tell you they know where you live?
I know where her character lives.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's super nice to hear from people.
I mean, we could wait around here. We could go back to Imogene's house if we wanted to go back to Imogene's house.
Well,
or you could go to the Mermaid.
Or we could go to...
We've Torith doesn't remember anything else about where they might be.
We need
No.
to. We need to
Oh, it was just
around so
an image of her haggling with.
that I can. Yeah, we need to stay somewhere.
Imogene, go haggle with someone. Go. Who do you feel like haggling with at this moment?
Perhaps we should just go grab a bite to eat and
Could go to the
relax for a second.
Find us at. I'll be at the Mermaid Dash if you need anything.
Okay. When I know more, I will come send someone to you.
Thank you.
And he looks over at the two that have come with him and says, you two, take the corvids and let's go find this milky-eyed azurite. Can't be too hard to find them in the skydocks. And they just sort of nod at him and scamper off.
I love this boy.
And you head to the Mermaid, I guess?
Yeah.
What it yeah, where am I at stress wise?
Let's see.
Are we allowed to ask that at any point?
I can give you a sort of a rough idea. I don't usually tell you the exact numbers.
Oh, like I don't need the number, but I'm like like if I were to go to the Mermaid and just like do a set, because that's my refresh. I'm trying to figure out if I need a refresh or not.
That's fine.
Yeah, you could use one. You have some stress. You haven't earned any this session, but you have some left over from before. You have some blood stress and some shadow stress.
Cool. Yeah, when we go to the Mermaid, I'll make sure that Kosa and Torith get some food and some drinks, and I'll go do a set. Because my refresh is when people are deeply moved by my art.
All right, so yeah, you head to the Mermaid, which Kahosa and Torith haven't been to before, I do not believe.
I thought Torith had.
I have.
Oh, that's right, you have.
I go there a lot.
That's right. We sort of opened the game with that. Yes, but Kahosa has not been there before.
But which Torith has been there before?
the minute we cross the threshold, I go back to Dapper Torith.
Nice. So yeah, you enter the Mermaid, which is sort of this very nice, sort of speakeasy-ish club. There are low mage light lamps, keeping a dim light, so they're not using the Spire Black. There's no smoke. They're just these pale, like dimly glowing lights. And there are a number of people in there. There always seem to be, no matter the time of day, somebody in the Mermaid. And the owner is a drow named Emil. And as soon as you enter, do you take off the mask?
I'm gonna take off the robe before I take off the mask, because he would know what I looked like masked anyway, because it doesn't.
That's true.
I want to change before I go perform though.
Okay, but when you come in and you take off the robes, Emil comes over and says, "Imogene."
Oh, yes. Hi. Good afternoon.
I'm very glad to hear that you're okay. And he sort of he puts one arm around your shoulders and sort of starts to hustle you to the back.
You saw the paper, didn't you?
I saw the paper. What was that about?
It's over with now. Everything is fine. Just had a bit of a rough go.
What did you get into?
I'm not rightly sure, to be honest with you. I think I went somewhere and somehow I don't know if somebody drugged something I drank or ate, but something didn't go well. Everything is fine now, but I'm honestly very fuzzy on the details.
Well, that's good. don't want this to come up again. I've had to do all sorts of damage control since that paper came out.
Oh,
And I haven't seen you, and people have been asking, and I've had to assure everyone that you're quite fine.
I'm
just having an
sorry
off
to
day.
be difficult. I didn't mean to cause any disturbances. It won't happen again, trust me. But I didn't know if perhaps you were in. I don't know if anybody's performing now, or if you were in need of maybe some music.
I am always open to you performing if you are up to it.
Yes. I just can run back to my room and dressing room and get changed. But
Absolutely.
otherwise, I'm okay.
All right, then yes. Please do a set.
Yeah. Oh, and my friends that I came in with, could you just make sure they're taken care of?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And I will go back to my dressing room and change to go sing some songs.
Okay. Kahosa and Torith, you don't actually see Emil again, but someone approaches you and says, "Oh, can we get you a table?"
I look at the person and say their name, and it's like, my usual, please.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you at first. Torith.
Yes, thank you.
Right this way. And he sort of takes you. There is like this central sort of table with a clear view of the stage that you sit at often.
Mhm.
This is all news to Kahosa. But yeah, Torith and Kosa are led to this like particular table, and Torith takes his usual seat that he always sits in, which has clear eye line to the stage.
I hold the chair for Kahosa. Then I seat Kahosa, then I seat myself.
Sits down.
And someone comes out to see if you would like any food or drink. I don't know if there's something Torith usually gets.
I say I'll have my usual.
So hard to find good
and
for
whatever,
the lady.
What do you recommend?
Oh, well, we have the fried squid is quite good.
Sure. Let's try that. And a drink, please.
Anything in particular? We have a very good honey mead.
Oh, right. Yes. Let's do that.
All right, then. I will return shortly. As you're waiting for your food, Imogene comes out on stage. Imogene, what are you wearing for your performance?
Yeah. Let me think. All right, so I think just like so she's not wearing a mask. And she's wearing just like a very form-fitted mermaid gown that's made out of black velvet, and it's got like a sweetheart neckline, but it like is a sweetheart neckline, and then it just like plunges like all the way down, like right above the navel. And it's just like very form-fitting, and then like the bottom of it, like at like the knee, goes out very wide, and it's just like tons of black velvet material, and she's got her hair like loose, and not like a lot of jewelry or anything, just like very simple, but like real nice.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't think I'm sure Torith has seen like you've dressed the nines for a performance before, but I don't think Kos has ever quite seen you all set up to sing, and then you start singing. Which the last time you sung anywhere near Kosa, she was a little bit preoccupied with the unconscious Madame Fey-Aranyen. Can you give me a compel and high society roll?
Yes. I 3. Ooh, those are both good. And that was not good. So an 8.
Okay. What is the song that you sing about?
So, like, I imagine her as very much like a lounge, like jazz standards type of singer, and I think she's singing a song about like lost love, like something that's like a somber song, like about losing something important to you.
So yeah, she sings this
Seems
sad kind of song about lost love. At one point, looking over at your table, Torith is almost certain that she's looking at them, but Kahosa thinks that maybe she's looking at her. It's hard to say for sure. But yeah, the crowd, there were conversations taking place before the song started into the very beginning of the song. All of them start to hush, and the room becomes very rapt, focused on her singing. And the whole room just gets quiet and kind of sad as she goes through her song. And yes, if you want to roll me a d6.
Ooh, I didn't have one of those out. All right, hang on. That's a 4.
All right. And so you have some blood stress and you have some shadow stress. Which do you want to start healing up first?
I'm going to go with blood stress.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as you're singing and the crowd is just so focused on you, you sort of get a rush that you have felt before when you perform, just feeding off their emotional reaction to your performance. You feel considerably just better. There was a sort of weariness in your body after the poisoning, even after you had been given the antidote, and that just sort of fades away. As well as the worry that you had about being discovered and being tracked by Madame Fey-Aranyen's spies. You're still aware of that, but that is weighing less heavily upon you. You're just sort of in the moment of your song, as well as everyone else in the room is very enchanted by your singing. And the song ends, and for a long moment, everybody is quiet, and then applause starts.
And I think, like, as she keeps going, like, the next, like, she sings less sad songs after that. Like, it's like this, tried to, like, oh, brought the whole room down.
Yeah, you started with a very emotional song, but I think after that you start to go into some of the classics of, that everyone recognizes in the scene.
Yeah.
You brought us down to show us all how high you can take us.
Only after you've gone so low can you truly appreciate.
Yeah. Our emotions are like a yo-yo to you.
Yeah.
It's true. And yeah, Kahosa, this is very new to you. You've never seen Imogen quite in her element as she is now.
Welcome to my home.
Yeah, I guess she just turns to Torith and is like, You've been here before? I mean,
we've been here many times.
Is it always like this?
Every time.
And Torith, that song also sort of hit you pretty hard. Because you know of the alternate timeline where you and Imogen are like a couple. Mm-hmm. So a song about like lost love while you're sitting there watching the person that in a different timeline you're with sing it is pretty emotional.
Yes it is.
But for some reason you keep coming back.
Because I'm a glutton for punishment? I don't know. Because it's the Spire?
No.
And this is the only thing that brings me joy?
They've got the
Perhaps.
best squid in the Spire here. You just can't stay awake.
Yeah, and your food and drinks do come out after the song, while she's started on some of the more familiar songs. And I think while she's probably finishing her third song, and you are starting to finish your food, you spot Dash enter the mermaid.
Yeah. I like when the song wraps, I'll like bow, I guess, and go over to the table and be like, we try to get Dash's attention and meet back in my dressing room. And I will go to my dressing room.
All right.
And I'll try to like catch Dash's eye like as I do, and kind of just like do like a let's go.
Yep, he scans the crowd and then he spots you, and you sort of give him a nod to the back, and he gives us like a small nod back, and heads that way. And you all meet in your dressing room. Usually Dash probably wouldn't be allowed back here, but you not only sort of give a heads up to the crew that sort of watch the back, but also you notice that Dash sort of has a little bit of sway around here, even though he's young, and also somewhat of a criminal of a sort. He just seems to know who to talk to and how to talk to them.
I respect that.
But yeah, he meets back in your dressing room and he says, "We found your azurite."
That was very quick. Where are they?
They're not far. They are in the Skydock, as you said. They go by the name of Eli. And they are, as you suspected, quite blind. But they deal in rare and unusual goods. And they have a sort of reputation for it.
Well, that is very, very helpful information. Thank you so much for your help and for getting the word to us so quickly.
You're welcome. I will warn you one thing, and he hands over a slip of paper where there's an address written on it. His shop is near the Solar Basilica, which all of you know is the main church of the Solar Pantheon, which is the Alfear religion. Yep. Also the headquarters of the Paladins.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, Cahosa's gonna have.
We will be careful.
Please do. I like seeing you around here.
Likewise, if you want to stay for any reason, just tell them that I'll let them know that anything you have is on me.
I think I'll have to take you up on that. Cahosa! Dash looks over at you. Like,
yes, Dash.
Have you seen my boy Zai anywhere around, by any chance?
Hi, boy.
You mean my son? Why do you ask? Speaking of which, I meant to ask you, is he the one that did all that webbing?
Oh, no. I mean, he can spin some webs, which is truly interesting.
He's a very gifted boy.
But those webs have been there since before the airlocks were there.
And their strength has not deteriorated. They've simply remained secure, and you're able to use them, and there's never been a problem.
There never has been. They've stayed secured there
And,
as long as we've been in operation.
and you've never seen who made them, and there's not been any new ones?
There hasn't, and I have asked around before where they came from, and I've heard rumors. I don't know if they're fact or fiction, dating back from before the occupation, that there used to be large spiders that were raised here in the Spire
Have I
that
heard
wove those webs.
Have I heard anything like that before?
I will say you have heard legends of it too.
Okay.
You do know that it wasn't the midwives who supposedly raised these large spiders, that they were actually like
Just wild large spiders?
they weren't wild, but they were like specific animal handlers sort of, or spider handlers.
Really?
That were rumored. This is centuries ago in Spire history, when it was fully under drow control, that they used to find these spiders and bring them back to the Spire and raise them here. But there have been stories about all sorts of things. There's still a story of a beast in the Garden District that stalks the forest in the Garden District. No one knows if it's just urban myth or not. There's all sorts of Torith has definitely heard all sorts of stories about beasts in the heart.
I've heard a lot of stories about the heart. That place is
Spooky.
messed up.
Not okay.
Big nope.
Danger zone.
Actually, this is a story that Torith would have heard. Torith, you know that there is a Vermisian station in the heart called Hang Station.
Blech.
And it was, when it was first built, it was built as the Alfir had proudly built it over a underground lake. And the station hung over the lake, and supposedly they had brought in like exotic underwater beasts from abroad and placed them in this lake, and it was supposed to be like the Alfir equivalent of SeaWorld, underneath this like glass and steel Vermisian station.
Did the
Except-
Metasaur jump up and...
Yeah, except the Vermisian bad things happened and the station fell into disrepair, and no word on if there still are terrifying undersea beasts down there. But
Oh,
perhaps.
100% there is still.
Defo. Yeah, so he she's like, that's very interesting. Thank you. And then
Yeah, if you happen to see any of those spiders around, let me know. I'd be real curious to know if it's true.
well, yes, you do the same. You're the one that's in that area. If I see any, I will certainly tell you. Do you think, would you tame one of those? Is that something in your wheelhouse or interest?
No.
Huh.
There are a lot of things I do well. Taming large spiders, probably not.
You seem extremely charismatic. Perhaps don't knock yourself till you try it. You could probably charm the silks out of a spider, and it wouldn't surprise me.
I appreciate the flattery. However, I also noticed that you're dodging my original question.
Did I? Is that something that just happened?
I just want to know that Zai is okay. I haven't seen him lately.
He's all right. He did come to visit. I'm sure he's fine, and I will tell him if I see him that you miss him. Yeah, I was gonna say he has a new sweater. He's nice and warm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I mean, the Airlarks, we stick together.
Yeah.
Want to make sure he's all right.
Yes. Yes. I have seen him recently, so I will tell him that you were inquiring about him and that you miss him. That was what I was trying to say. well, or
Yeah. I'm not angry or sad.
approximately so.
My crew is holding their own.
I'm sure you all seem extremely adept.
We are. Anyway, I'm going to get some drinks on Imogene's tab, so gracious.
Oh, of course.
Imagery, sunlight through glass, so gracious.
That's the. I cut it off.
Yeah, you actually trimmed it down a bit.
It's her middle name.
Yeah, yeah, gracious is my middle name. Yes, just don't drink yourself sick or anything.
Who, me?
I'm just saying. But yes, please enjoy. Thank you so much for all of your help.
And be careful. I don't know what business this Azurite is involved in, but I imagine it's not good.
We will do our best to be careful. No papers this time.
Good. And I think I'm going to end here before I send you guys after the Azurite next session.
That's probably good.
You go and get him.
Rawr. Let's all go around and say stuff, I guess.
Sorry, my next game will be much happier.
Oh, will it?
Well,
will it, Jason?
Not if I do like heart playtest. Those will definitely not be happier, but...
Oh, you mean your next overall game, not the next session of this? Because the next session of this...
No, I mean my next game, which will probably be a masks game, is what I'm planning. But...
Give me those tests.
Yeah, totes want those play tests.
Yeah, well, Megan already accidentally gave me a really messed up idea for a heart playtest.
Megan, why? Megan, why you do?
She was just sending me Torith stuff from New Hampshire, and
yeah, ask Jason when he took an adorable thing that I sent him. It was like, oh, really
I may have a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at this cute thing. He's like, oh, well, I could make this bad. And then it was bad.
And then
Thanks,
I said thank you.
Jason.
So, you're welcome, I guess.
Rude. Okay, I guess let's all go around and say who we are and what we used to be happy about before Jason ruined it. Starting with Jason.
Oh, I am the ruiner of good feelings. Hi.
Destroyer of trust.
Yes, destroyer of trust, betrayer of all I care about. No, I'm Jason. You can find me on Twitter at Jace Levine, where I swear my Twitter feed is less evil most of the time. Some of the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you will occasionally see me on this channel doing other things, either playing video games or playing other games. May have something coming soon.
Dustin, because we're going backwards.
Hi, I'm Dustin at GeoNerd on Twitter. You can find me here most of the time playing games, or on Twitter telling the world how sad that Jason has made me, which I will do after this game. Stay tuned to this channel on August 16th. Actually, stay tuned on this channel for tomorrow at 6 p.m. when we'll be probably finishing up our long-running dialect game, but we don't know because it's 2019 and we have no chill. So stay here for that. That's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Spire. And then on the 16th of August, time still iffy to make people fit in it, but it will be in the afternoon, evening time. I will be running a Ryutama one-shot, which I'm very excited about because I think Ryutama is a system that's 100% my flavor.
Yes.
Very good.
That's such
So
a good
and we don't know, that may turn into something else. I hope it does. 2019 and I have no chill. But thank you very much.
Chill is for other people.
Jason
Yeah.
makes me sad.
What? Tell me about a moment when Jason has made you sad.
It's not my fault that Grant makes
Today,
such messed up games.
today,
Glad you just destroy my trust.
Show us on the doll where Jason and Grant have teamed up to hurt you. Thanks, Grant. We love it.
I don't know. Grant makes awesome things because I just played.
please go to page 65 in Spire book. That is where Jason has hurt me.
Oh yeah, you played Sexy Battle Wizards,
Yeah.
I
right?
played Battle Wizards, and it is amazing.
Oh, I can't wait to play that. I want to play that.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yep.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Hi, I'm Megan. You can find me on Twitter at Megan Lynn for the win. You can find me here tomorrow playing a good space lesbian in our dialect game at 6 o'clock. Because I also have no chill. Yeah, that is it for now for me. But yeah, stay tuned. There are things happening. But yeah, otherwise you can find me here playing Spire. You can find me tomorrow playing Dialect.
But will you and M get into an in-character fight? Couples fight.
So
I live for that.
it's so it sounds so weird, but I love fighting with friends.
Healthy fighting. Good, healthy TTRPG. Working it
Because
out.
When you're
Fighting.
fighting with your friends, as soon as you're done, you're just like, "Oh, okay, that was really good," and we're totally fine. But that was a fight.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and knowing M and I, probably.
Perfect. And yeah, last and definitely least, it's me. It's Jess. Hi.
Oh.
What's up? I'm only extremely weird and messed up in the brain now. Thanks, Jason. I love it. But actually, I do love it. Thank you. I'm actually very excited about this. I'm
You get to play an even more unhinged character now.
Yes, it's so I'm actually really excited. I'm really excited to talk to you later about this. How can I be more unhinged? Please tell me. I am excited. So yeah, thank you. I know we're teasing you, but this is actually awesome and I love this game and thank you. This is great.
We tease.
I know.
We love.
We tease because we love, exactly. So yeah, thanks for being here. If you're hanging out on the Twitch channel, hit follow, hang out some more. We do lots of games. Dustin and I are gonna come back after a short break and play more games because it's Saturday. Dustin, you look confused, and
No, I was just looking at the time. It's like you're gonna give me some time.
Yeah, we're gonna take a personal break and then we'll come back and play games. And like everyone said, tomorrow we have Dialect. We have lots of cool stuff coming up. This game is every other Saturday, so do come hang out for that. Starting next Friday, the 9th of August, our good friend Nicholas, who's normally here with us, is running a Genesis mini campaign.
We miss you, Nicholas.
We miss you, Nyvinter. We love you so much. Oh my gosh. So coming out for that. That's going to be on opposite to Spire weeks on purpose. But there's lots of good stuff here. We're going to fit in as many DMless Prepless one-shots as we can. And if you want to participate in any of that, join us on the Twitch, join us on Discord. You can support this channel, these shows, on Patreon. You can find my game, which is in the chat right now, Our Lady. Also go check out Megan's game, which is freaking awesome, and it's called Session Zero, and you can use it. It's so cool, because it's a fucking awesome game, and also you can use it to flesh out your backstory. It's just fucking practical and cool at the same time, which is like, holy cow.
Yes.
Go check it out, and I will, as always, if you're checking out on the YouTube, I will put everyone's tags so you can find them where they're at. I will put the tags for this awesome game Spire, which you should absolutely check out. So thanks so much, everyone who's been hanging out. We appreciate you and we heart your faces. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you around for lots more games later as soon as possible, because it's 2019 and we has no chill. So heart your faces. See you later. Bye.
Bye.